Welcome all. Welcome to the third day of the ALD9 D3S1 session. So our first presenter today would be Rashmiji presenting on Shadowfax. You can start, Rashmiji.
Happy morning, all. Happy Sunday. My chosen stock today is Shadowfax Technologies Limited. It is one of the logistic stock, and this is the another new sector I have chosen to present. When we speak of logistic, how big is the industry? Let us understand. Talking of globally, overall, it is right now 10 trillion USD, and it will grow up to 14 trillion in coming years. And as far as Indian market is concerned, we are standing at 350 billion USD right now in this year, and it can grow up to 475 USD in 2031. And as far as CAGR is concerned with Indian market, it is 7.7 from 2025 to 2030. And here, what is pushing us, why the logistic industry in India will grow is the government policies like National Logistics Policy, that is NLP, and PM Gati Shakti. This multimodal program are actively, the government is pushing, the government backing is there for this industry because every tier 2 and tier 3 cities are also expecting the logistic, delivery at their door. So the current right now GDP contribution of logistic industry is only 9%, and it can grow up to 13 to 14% in coming years. When I chose this, it's a new company listed in Jan of this year. So why the name Shadowfax? First of all, Shadowfax comes from the Lord of Rings. I haven't seen it, but people who have seen it know the purpose. Why the Shadowfax? What exactly it means? So it exactly indicates the first chosen name for them was the Chetak, that is the horse of Maharana Pratap, but the domain name was taken. So this is the other horse name they choose because it symbolizes the speed and going against, more speeder than the wind. And apart from this company name, all other parts, servers, databases, microservices are also named after the Lord of Rings characters. So, how the logistics, when I say logistics, how it works. First of all, any source that can be manufacturer, that can be a retailer, that can be farmer, anyone. The source is the first one where it comes from. Then comes a warehouse where it is kept. Say if your right now is a mango season and a farmer wants to sell his mangoes. So the source point is his farm. The storage will be the warehouse. Shipping is done by any packaging company who receives it from his farm, and then receiving and then distribution. So the source is somewhere the farm. The second thing is the third party, someone receives it at the distribution center, then stores it. If it needs a cold storage, maybe it can be vegetables. If it needs a cold storage, then it will be put into storage. Then a processing is done. Suppose it is of export quality, then a lot of processing is done with mangoes. Then finally it is shipped. This comes with, logistics concerned with the fruits. But what if it is just cloth you have ordered from Misho or Mintra, and you are receiving it, or it can be a food delivery from the hotel. Then you are receiving it. The gig worker or the person who is into logistics receives it. Then storage, that will be usually the warehouse or the dark store. Dark store is something very lesser space than the bigger warehouse, and usually located in the highly populated region. And finally it is processed here means it can be packaging of that cloth, putting it under proper packing, or it can be if it is a food, then maybe proper storage is necessary without any leakage, and finally it is shipped. So this is how order from point A to point B is shipped. But when we say of, Shadowfax is a 3PL, that is third party logistics. So when we say third party logistics, what are the other kind of logistics present? So first party logistic is the company, the company manufacturing or the source, since I took the farmer's name. So the farmer, he himself grows, he himself puts it into his own vehicle and then ships it to the destination, whoever is expecting. This is 1PL, that is first party logistics. Second party logistics can be basic provider like shipping and trucking. So you particularly the wholesalers, what they do, the truck is in front of them, they just load everything into the truck, their work is done. The truck, it is the work of the truck, driver, to take it to the retailers. Third party logistic, this is the one that is highest growing industry among all the five present. So it is the one which outsources warehouse, orders, fulfillment, shipping to the specialized provider. We will talk in more detail as far as 3PL is concerned, that is third party logistic is concerned. And fourth party is where a single partner manages and optimizes entire supply chain from and oversees the multiple. He handles maximum 3P, third party logistics. So when we talk of major logistic companies here, the top companies which are making as per the revenue here is irrespective of whether it is IPL, 2PL or 3PL, like Equity Logistics, Blue Dart, Delivery, Gati, Safex, Shadowfax is now entered into this, Blue Dart, Delivery. So most of the names are heard. But when it comes to only third-party logistics companies, so these are the one who have been, older than Shadowfax. So All Cargo, Mahindra Logistics, TVS Supply, Delivery, and DHL. So how exactly third-party logistic operate? Here, they connect with the client, manage the warehouse and inventory, get the orders ready, transport, handle returns, value-added services. So when we say connect, it can be through the app. When we are talking of Shadowfax, the person receiving, the end client may not have the Shadowfax, but the gig worker, the person who is coming to deliver, he can be from the Zepto, he can be from Blinkit, he can be from Meesho, he can be from Myntra, or he even can be from Amazon or Flipkart. So this person will be having the app of, I'm very specifically talking about Shadowfax. So having the app of Shadowfax, the client, when the client orders something from Meesho, so the gig worker will get it's just like Uber, Ola. If they are standing at their stand and if they are free, they can agree to, take the passenger. So here also the gig worker, he gets the message. So if he is free, he can accept it. And the warehouse, as I told, the warehouse, we mean the bigger, places. But usually the gig workers, like you're ordering only the vegetables or the curd, milk. So these will be kept in a dark store. So they connect it from there, get the orders ready. Orders ready in the sense, if you have ordered 2-3 items, they need to put it in one thing, pack it, then transport, take it on his scooter. If it is a bigger item, take it to the bigger vehicle, then handle the return logistics. Suppose I order some dress and it is not fitting me, so I'm not happy with that. I'm ordering some shoes, the size is not right, I want to return. So the reverse logistics comes into picture, particularly, which is a game changer for Shadowfax. So you are having a freedom to return the item and value added services. So here the gig worker is also getting extra money because he is handling another delivery. For him, it is just another delivery. So he's taking back the item. So 3PL, third-party services include warehousing, inventory management, picking and packing, supply chain distribution, processing, and last minute delivery. When we talk of Meesho, Amazon, Flipkart, everybody is having their own logistics, but yet Shadowfax is still having them as its client. Why anybody have to depend on the third-party logistics? So it can be because not one person can do everything, not one business can invest in everything. So the manufacturer, they only manufacture, shipping cost is handled by someone else. And access to advanced tech tools because expect there is some retailer. He's also wanting to deliver his items in and around 5 kilometers. But can he put in all the efforts and money in developing any app or AI tool that uh, detects who is interested in his items? Quite a less possibility. So this improves delivery performance when we rely on third-party logistics. It reduces the supply chain risk because they take care of handling the item safely from point A to point B. So easier reverse logistics say the customer is not willing to accept or maybe there is some problem with the, say it's a mobile, it is opened, it is a glass item, it is broken, it is a dress that is of different size. So in case the customer rejects, can the same retailer go and collect it from that customer? Less possibility. So it is easier when you assign it to the third party logistics and scalability of operations. Yeah. When we talk of different modules of delivery, basically there are primary operational modules, specialized management modules, and industry specific modules. So here, when we talk of primary operational modules, it's involves like sourcing of your raw materials, supply management, and receiving. But when it comes to outbound logistics, I mean, the finished product is out to the end customer. And reverse logistic is, as said, if the customer wants to return the good, you need to collect it back. But when it comes to specialized management module, the physical movement of the freight across, I mean, it is up to the third party logistic to decide whether he wants to ship it through road, rail, or sea or air. So it is his headache to optimize the route, how it needs to minimize the shipping cost and everything. And also tracking the path, then picking and packing the operations. So inventory control also, like he is the one who is supposed to take care of the warehouse. And order fulfillment, the process from the moment an order is placed and it is delivered. So the whole process of picking, packing, labeling, processing, everything is done by the 3PL. Industry specific modules here, e-commerce logistics. When we say like what kind of, delivery are there? So it is e-commerce, it is quick commerce, it is hyper logistics. That is depending on what kind of item you are sending. So industry specific modules here means we are handling high volumes, small parcel shipping. So usually these are smaller items, quicker to deliver. Cold chain logistics, usually the pharma, I mean any medical instrument, maybe MRI machine, maybe anything that needs a cold storage. So all these things are taken by cold chain logistics. When we talk of quick commerce, India's quick commerce has grown by 27 times only between these 4 years. So you can imagine the growth in this industry. Fashion alone contributes to 47% and e-commerce 25 to 35%. And when we say reverse shipping, I mean reverse logistics, that itself contributes to 25 to 35%. And we know about Instamart, we know about Zomato, Swiggy when it comes to food delivery, Zepto is 10 minutes delivery. Blinkit is also 10 minutes delivery. Amazon, Flipkart are the giants in this. Then why Shadowfax? Shadowfax is something that, say I'm Misho, I started as a small company. Now I am expanding my database not only with clothes, but other items like mobile or other items like show items or anything that is required on daily basis. So I'm just trying to explore new things with new customers and assume there's a very good response from the customers. Naturally, you need efficient delivery to the same customers within time. So when the volumes explode, you rely on someone who can do it for you. Because Misho itself has its own logistics called Valmo. Amazon has its own, that is Amazon Now, but Amazon Now has been stopped. Instead, only ATS is working. Flipkart has its eCart. And here, when we talk of only Shadowfax, there is another giant peer, Delivery. You all might have heard of it. Delivery worked for Amazon and Flipkarts, delivering 2 to 3 orders per day. So when you're, taking someone as your client, you're only working for them, then whatever delivery are there for that day, particularly for that city, only that will be delivered. So Amazon and Flipkart were, giving them the orders of 2 to 3 orders per day. Whereas Shadowfax works for a hyper local market. That is, it not only works for Flipkart or Amazon, it works for Swiggy, it works for Zomato, Zepto, Blinkit, everything. So the number of delivers, the number of items to be delivered per day are 10 to 15 per day. So you can imagine, instead of sticking on to one particular company, taking it as only one big clientele, you are free to to be accessed by any company who wants the delivery. Who wants the logistics, help of logistics. So Shadowfax is the first third-party logistic company to introduce e-commerce and D2C, that is direct to customer into quick commerce. The main mode of this company is single operable gig fleet. What it does is it manages different timelines, rider incentives, pickup routes, all in real time. So that means it is mostly into AI. When we talk a decade of delivering dreams, because Shadowfax is a 10-year-old company now, started in 2015. So it just started delivering only the food and courier services that were around 10,000 orders per day since 2015. And in just 2 years, they acquired Noex and became the leader in reverse logistics. The reverse logistics that has been a boon to Shadowfax today, it started in 2017. And in 2020, when it was a curse for everyone and hit every business, these people took it as a best opportunity to deliver the vaccines, the medicines, and the oxygen concentrator to the customer's doorstep, because that was the most needed at that time. And in 2021, they built 1 million square foot of sortation capacity across 35 critical locations in India. First of all, owning a warehouse is a big thing, because you really need it with a good transportation facility and connectivity. So right now, Shadowfax has 35 warehouses, and they'll be soon expanding it to 100 as per their con call. And increased intercity, the same day delivery, that increased from 5% to 70% just in 2021. And in 2022, they expanded themselves to 1700 plus delivery centers. 2023, 30 times revenue growth was there, and in 5 years, and 2 times the market share gain they already got. And 2024, 33% revenue growth, and the EBITDA and PAT were also profitable. And Uber also teamed up with Shadowfax. See, even we have the Uber Eats, Uber thing. So most of the drivers are going, going along with the passenger. The vehicle has the capacity to carry certain items. So Shadowfax again expanded their service to Uber also. And 2025, they launched SF Shield. This is something they are really working on AI and they are expanding this. SF Shield is the one which it secures false customers, false, wrong delivery. Then SF maps are there. Shadowfax maps are there, which particularly in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, there is no particular location, where the person can just go and deliver. So finding that, correcting the maps, updating the address, they're more working on the AI part. And also in 2025, they acquired a company called Criticalog, which has only 500 customers. But the thing is, they're the high value customers, the premium customers, because those customers, they deliver luxury items, jewelry, electronic items, critical logistics like hospital heavy equipments, TV, refrigerator. So everything, anything that needs a lot of care and security and to be delivered on time. So this was handled by Critical Log, and now it is part of Shadowfax. And when we say, year-wise, point-to-point express parcel delivery was done in 2016. 2017, as I mentioned, it is reverse logistics for e-commerce. 2018, they, focused on same-day delivery. That became a game changer, because if you order, say, suppose it is Raksha Bandhan, you are ordering a Rakhi to be delivered to the person, to your brother somewhere else. Usually it takes 3 to 4 days, but now whichever place he is there, from the same place it will be taken and then delivered on the same day. So you need not select a Rakhi for yourself, then ship it, then take it as a parcel or go to the post office and then send it. And 29 instant express deliveries for quick commerce. We'll discuss what express deliveries are, what hyperlocal deliveries are. And 2020, as I said, since it was a COVID time, pharmacy and essential logistics services, they went into. And 21, reverse logistics they worked on. 22, this was the crucial time. They started thinking of those retailers, those small vendors, those small business people who needed courier services. So the SME and the personal courier, they introduced something called as Shadowfax 360. So that is handled in a different way, and that is not part of the main Shadowfax. And 24, they came to that 10-minute delivery, just like Blinkit and Zepto. And 25, they are working on, since EV vehicles became more, they have been pushed more in, backed by the government. Now they are saving the petrol cost. That was the petrol itself, the fuel itself cost Shadowfax overall profitability. That is 10% of their revenue is taken up by the fuel. So since EV are into market, that is also a saving for Shadowfax and also a boon. Talking about the promoters and their credibility, it is Abhishek Bansal and Vaibhav Khandelwal together who are the founders of this Shadowfax, and they both are from IIT Delhi. And there are other promoters who is from the military background, who is from the logistics background with in-depth knowledge of the logistics. So there is a good, these people are the strength to the new company. When we talk of clientele of this Shadowfax, You name a brand, it is part of Shadowfax. You know Flipkart, you know Meesho, you know Purple, you know Snapdeal, Uber, Azio. Then you just name it and it is part of Shadowfax. So it has a wide clientele base. When we say just a Shadowfax, it operates in a different models. One is Express, other is Hyperlocal, Reverse Logistics, and Shadowfax 360. Express is, as the name suggests, same day delivery, no control on margin. Hyperlocal, particularly the delivery of food, groceries, anything that is usually needed immediately. And hyperlocal can be anything from Amazon and Flipkart. It need not be a kitchen item, but it isn't one particular item of one particular category. Reverse logistics, as I said, when someone is returning the items. Under hyperlocal, there is something called as horizontal and vertical. Horizontal, as I said, Amazon and Flipkart. Anything and everything is available on Amazon. If you are ordering a book, then if you are ordering, say, a flower pot, if you are ordering food items, if you are ordering TV, mobile, everything is part of Amazon and Flipkart. But when we talk of vertical, say Mintra, it is only into clothing. Say Meesho, only clothing. Nykaa, only the fashion items, that is cosmetics. Or it can be only pharmaceutical items. So any company that is working on only one particular category. So that it comes under vertical, and horizontal handles everything. So how are the services and what are the gains for the Shadowfax? So services like forward parcel delivery, faster, reverse pickups, hand-in-hand exchange, customer to customer deliver. This comes under express, means as quick as possible. On-demand hyperlocal are the quick commerce. That is usually food delivery, food-related kitchen items. And other categories are, as I said, Critical Logic, since they acquired it, they anything that requires, extra concentration on delivery, that comes under other categories. And dark store operations. When I say dark store operations, the dark stores are usually the smaller, spaces among the populated area from where they can collect the item and then go. So under express business, the customers are Meesho, Flipkart, Amazon. Under hyperlocal, that needs a 10-minute delivery, or the food item that comes within half an hour to 40 minutes, usually from Zepto, Swiggy, Zomato, Uber, Mintra. And here other categories, luxury brands and D2C brands. Shipments, when we talk of shipment from April to September, here the express model, it benefited Shadowfax with 228 million, with 77% of its volume. So you can see where there is more volume. And hyper local, it generated 66 million of revenue, but when it comes to the volume, it is only 22%. And here revenues are not based on the segment because there is a wide variety. And when we talk of this revenue here, in terms of rupees, so 1,239 crore is the benefit, profit, and 359 crores is the profit in hyperlocal. Okay. When we say last mile network, last mile means the customer is waiting, he is getting the delivery. So it is between the delivery boy and the customer. That's it. That is the last mile network. That is what the Shadowfax is, master of. So here right now it has 4,778 touch points. These many customers it has under it. In India, there is total 19,200 pin codes, among which Shadowfax has already covered 15,656 pin codes and 47 lakh square foot operational spaces it has, including the dark store as well as the bigger warehouses. It has leased 3,500, whatever capex is here, be it warehouse, be it the smaller dark store or the vehicles. Here, they are leasing everything. So wherever their capex is put, wherever they are putting in money as an asset, it is all lease based. And here, last mile network, they have till date 2.6 lakh average quarterly. Just in last quarter, they have delivered 2.6 lakhs deliveries. And as already discussed, horizontal, vertical, quick commerce, food market, all these are kind of deliveries the Shadowfax do. So overall employees working for Shadowfax are 5,427 and 19,069 employees are on contractual basis. So particularly Shadowfax owns only 5,427, all others are contractual. That is 4 times more are contractual. Here it is again the same. What do you mean by forward express? That is express, then hyperlocal, prime, and other logistics. So particularly prime deliveries, same day, intra-city, and next day intra-city. So usually maybe it is outskirt, so it can be delivered next day. The overall, what is high speed is that is delivered within hours. So that comes under quick commerce. So that is high speed. Here, the prime are usually D2C deliveries and the Shadowfax 360. As I told, there's a small retailer, there's a small businessman who wants to deliver, but is depending on some delivery logistics. So they come under prime. That is, it can be same day or it can be next day. And prime large are the heavy volumetric, like it can be TV, fridge, washing machine, such things. And critical log, as I said, it's a premium customer handling. So when I talking about Shadowfax and saying that Amazon, Flipkart are also its clientele, but we see that Amazon has its own logistics called Amazon Transportation Services. Initially, it also had Amazon Now, which is stopped now, and Amazon Now was concentrating on the same day delivery. But Amazon has grown so big that it is not able to handle the kind of delivery, the demand it has. So Amazon Transportation Services still exist, but the extra deliveries are handed over to Shadowfax. Flipkart has its own logistics called e-cart, yet there is so much demand that the extra handling is done by Shadowfax. Meesho also has its logistics called Walmo. Yet, like how much percentage it contributes to Shadowfax revenue? That is 49% of the revenue of Shadowfax is from Meesho. In spite Meesho having Walmo, still Shadowfax is making money. So the top customers of Shadowfax, that is together, Meesho itself is 49%, then including Zepto, Zomato, Nykaa, everything. They all, only these companies together contribute to 84% revenue of Shadowfax. When we talk of return to original, first of all, most of them don't want to work on this reverse logistics because once the good, any item is delivered, they don't expect it to come back to the warehouse again and send it back to the origin. Yet there are returns like electronic items. Say there is some glitch with the mobile, something is opened, you are not happy with it, you want to send it. How much it contributes? Usually 5 to 10%. D2C premium brands, again 5 to 10%. Groceries and essentials, usually we accept the, say the milk packet is torn or the curd is not of the same date, or you're not happy with the kind of quality of the vegetables, so you want to send back. It is accepted. Beauty and personal care, usually they test, but here the percentage goes on increasing. Home and furniture, maybe the item showed was something else, delivered was something else. So it is between 10 to 20%. What is highest is the fashion items. Usually your clothing. It doesn't fit you, you're not happy with the color, you're not happy with the quality, you're sending it back. So since there's an option of reverse logistic, there is also demand for the product because we are ensured that if we are not happy, we can send it back. So return to origin, that is RTO is return to origin, that is 10 to 15% in tier 1 cities, but whereas 25 to 30% in tier 2 and tier 3. That means it is easy to handle bigger cities than the tier 2 and tier 3. And when it comes to tier 2 and tier 3 cities, as I said, it's very difficult to locate the houses or the shops who have asked for the delivery. So using the shield, Shadowfax Shield, that is the AI part of Shadowfax, and that is the moat of this company. So it corrects it. It identifies, even before delivering, it identifies the high risk involved with the delivery of this item, even before it leaves the warehouse. And Shadowfax Max, that is SF Maps, it also corrects the address, optimizes the routes, and minimizes the loss. They have one warehouse that is called one NCR. They want to duplicate this system in other bigger cities also. So one NCR, it handles 10 lakh shipments per day, even at the, peak. When there's a peak, like say festival time, there's a lot of demand. Holi, there's a lot of demand for the colors. It is say Eid, there is a lot of demand for the non-veg things. So it can be anything. So even at the peak, it can handle 10 lakh shipments per day. And it has a high-speed automated sorter. They read the barcode, they just sort it. Okay, this item is here. It is to Bangalore. It needs to go here. It is Mumbai. Okay, this is to the west. Okay, it needs to go here. Okay, from west again, where it needs to go again, Gujarat. Okay, the line differentiates. So it has a high-speed automated sorter, and it has 80 line haul routes, and the delivery speed by additional handling at intermediate hubs. So not just sorted here, again sorted at the dark store also, even which dark store to send it. So the sorting is so fast, so accurate that missing of any item is not a possibility, as well as delivering and with a high speed is the motto of the company. So they want to execute approximate 3,000 unique origin level sorts, and 80% of the shipments directly manifested for the last mile delivered. Means in this delivery, one NCR, already 80% shipments are sorted in such accuracy that they are ready for delivery. There is no more further sorting. The machine does all for you. And even this one NCR also handles the bigger volumetric packages. That means it can be, I said, like any bigger packages, like TV, fridge, and everything. And infrastructure will play since they have taken bigger warehouse, they are investing, they want to invest more into such warehouses. Shadowfax will stand apart from the other companies. Sorry. Talking about the fundamentals and revenue of this company, here above is the quarterly result, below is the YOY, year-on-year result. The last quarter itself, it made 1,237 crore, and that is 73% increase. And the year-on-year revenue was 67% up, that is 4,202 crores. The scale, it grew up by 100%, that is 22.6 crore. Whereas overall year by year also, it grew by 72 crore. As I said, the express itself made, the same day delivery within 1 hour, 2 hour delivery, that itself constitutes to 925 crores. And hyperlocal, it constitutes to 232 crores. Whereas yearly, if we consider YOY, then 3041. Imagine the kind of revenue this express is bringing. That's the reason Shadowfax is concentrating on speed of delivery. And hyperlocal also increased by 3 times, that is 792. And when we talk of adjusted EBITDA, already they have made 58 crores of profit, and here year on year it is 159. And net profit is 56, here it is 112. And overall ecosystem, how many they are handling? 2.6 lakh in the last quarter itself. And overall, because it was a loss-making company until the 2 quarters before, now it suddenly rose to 56 crore profit. So overall, volume is the strength of this company. More the orders, more the delivery, more the growth. So it has, volume growth, it has delivered 22 crore customer orders only in the last quarter, and 10% sequential order growth compared to Q3 results, and 18 crores express orders delivered in the last quarter with 129% year-on-year growth. And when we talk of revenue, as I said in the last slide, 1,237 crore is the last quarter revenue, and overall it is 4,202. And efficiency, you can see 58 crore of adjusted EBITDA and 159 crore of adjusted EBITDA for whole year. The same has been put at the larger view. Yeah, you can see the express revenue. Same day delivery, but within hours. So how was last year, quarter 4 of last year, 419 was the revenue, and how much it has grown? Almost double. Hyperlocal, 176 last year, and now it is almost 1.5 times. And other logistics, that can be critical items or any other retailer or Shadow 360. So this, it has decreased, but they want to work on this sector more now. And last quarter, this Q4 quarter, whatever result it has given, it has been the best quarter for Shadowfax. So adjusted EBITDA, you can see it was a loss-making company. Suddenly it turned to be, profitable company. It has worked well. The demand has been there. The client has remained with Shadowfax. So profit after that is PAT is 56 crores. And when we talk of express orders, that is kind of Zepto, Blinkit, Zomato deliveries. In FY22, it was just 100, and you can see in FY26, it has grown to 776. So the Shadowfax is working on, getting more customers, is working, better than other logistics so that it can hold on to the same customers. Yeah. Here, then how much is spent overall? What is the capex? So network and automation, they're trying to atomize many things. So on that, it is spending 57%. Geographic expansion, as I said already, it has expanded to 15,000 plus pin codes. Now this year, I mean next year, as per their guidance, they want to expand to 17,000 pin codes. And technology development, as I said, they are investing a lot into AI for that also. I mean, 19% they are spending. So total 246 crores. But since it has put in a lot of money into capex, this year onwards, I mean the coming quarter onwards, it was almost, I mean 4.5% into capex, but now this year it will be 2.5 to 3.5% into capex. That means they are not spending any more on any kind of asset or building the network. So that money will be saved for this quarter and the rest of the quarters coming in coming days. Right now, September 25 itself, they had 35 lakh deliveries. December 25, 45 lakh, this one, deliveries, and 47 lakh. So efficiency is raising as far as the scale is concerned. Network mode is the sortation. I mean, it has a lot of, I mean, when we talk of mode, it has a lot of, I mean, edge over other companies that I'll be discussing in the next slide. So here we see that capex stood at 4.4% in FY26, but it is moderating to 2.5 to 3.5 in FY27. As far as the investors are concerned, the promoter holding is 16%, but you can see that FI has invested 7.65 into this company. It is just a 5-month company, I mean, as far as listing is concerned. And DI have invested 20% of their share, and public holds 7 and others 47. But you can take it as a public means overall 50% is under public, but FI and DI also contribute 27%. As discussed, there are already 5,400 plus permanent employees of Shadowfax, and 19,000 are contractual based. And operational space in terms of square foot, it is already having 47 lakh square foot of space as warehouse and dark stores. Just in last quarter, it has already delivered 2.6 lakh deliveries. And it also has trucks on lease, that is 3,500. And what are their further, guidance? So express order right now, they have, I mean, this has been discussed. So year on year is 129 and Q on Q is 8.3. So this. Yeah, and Prime and Shadowfax 360. Shadowfax 360, as I discussed, it is concentrating on SME companies, that is small scale companies, and D2C. D2C had taken a back seat. I mean, it was not that important, but now D2C is something that will make more profit for Shadowfax. So we have 15 lakh plus market, sellers as a potential to Shadowfax. D2C market share is right now 10%, but this will grow more in coming quarter. What are the reach? Right now it is into 120 cities already. And D2C order growth year on year will be one. Imagine right now it is 10%, but year on year they are expecting it to grow to 150%. So Shadowfax 360 is a self-serve platform. Means, say I'm owning some departmental store. I'm very much only concentrated with my area. I can, download the app of the Shadowfax. I can collaborate with them and then have my deliveries. And tailwind here is they are already into 120 cities. They want to expand even more. Particularly, they are eyeing on tier 2 and tier 3. And speed is something they are really working on. Yeah. So when we talk of the moat of this company, first of all, quick commerce is working. Frogging method. When we say frogging method, as I mentioned, gig worker. Who is gig worker? The person who delivers, right? So say person A is working for Zepto and person B is working for Blinkit or Zomato. So Zomato and Zepto have their own gig workers. I mean, they are permanent workers for them. Shadowfax, the plus point is it don't own, I mean, 3,500 are its employees, but apart from that, it is not expanding in hiring any employee as a on a permanent basis. So, though you are working for Zepto, any delivery, anyhow, Zepto and Blinkit are also collaborated with Shadow. Say he's here in North Bangalore and the delivery is also for the North Bangalore. What he'll do, what Shadowfax will do, there are 2-3 items to be delivered to North Bangalore. One goes to Blinkit, one goes to Zepto. The AI module, I mean, the way the app has been developed is all the deliveries of the North Bangalore will be given to person who is working for Zepto. Though the order is from Blinkit, that will be sourced from Zepto person and then delivered by Zepto person. He or otherwise working for Zepto would be getting 20 rupees per delivery. But what Shadowfax will do is it will give him 15 rupees. So Shadowfax is saving 5 rupees, but the Zepto person is getting deliveries, I mean 3 items to be delivered and getting 45 rupees instead of 20 rupees. So it's a win-win situation for both. So frogging method is jumping from one gig worker to another. So interoperable plate. You are using any kind of logistic that is present there, any gig worker present there, and you are operating it. Reverse logistics, as I said, is a game changer for Shadowfax because no other company had worked so particularly on this aspect. It is an asset light company because almost all their network, that is 1.6 million monthly active riders, are crowdsourced. Means Shadowfax don't own any of them. They are just plug and play. Today, that Zepto person, the Blinkit person may get order from Shadowfax or may not. But when there are a lot of deliveries and Zepto and Blinkit are not able to do it, Shadowfax comes into picture, and it's not going to pay someone as a salary monthly basis. So here is something that is saving a lot for Shadowfax. And their mesh network. Mesh network allows the rider to deliver a Zomato food order at 1 p.m. That means he's working for food delivery. The same person is hired to deliver a Myntra address at 3 p.m. Though he's not a person from Myntra, but he is available in that area and he is free at 3 p.m. And the same person delivers another vertical module item, that is medicine, at 5 p.m. So the same person is getting 3 deliveries on the same day, is getting 45 rupees, that is 15 plus 15 plus 15. But at the same time, Shadowfax is saving 15 rupees. So it's a win-win situation. Shadowfax maps, as I said, AI address intelligence, Prodo, gig life cycle management, and Shadowfax Shield, that is fraud detection. Here, it corrects the maps and whatever, if the address is wrong, once the delivery is done to the wrong, once it is identified, if it is not this place but another place, so it is corrected on the map. Prodo works on gig lifecycle management, identifying who is available right now. And SF Shield, that is fraud detection. It means less possibility of delivering to the wrong address. And say any company grows bigger. Meesho, as I said, is the 49% revenue sharing and the biggest client of Shadowfax. If Meesho grows bigger, the revenue of Shadowfax also will increase. So growth of any other company is the growth of Shadowfax. And I said, like D2C brand, they are focusing more on this than the other hyperlocal items because it is the fast growing as far as 3PL logistics is concerned. And they are expecting 20 to 25% higher than the previous 15 to 25. And overall, it is expected to contribute to 2/3 of e-commerce, gross merchandise value by 2031. And almost will drive 86% of incremental e-commerce between 26 to 31 in next coming 5 years. And it can scale up to 10 billion, growing by 37% CAGR. Yeah. We spoke so much about Shadowfax, but aren't there same companies doing the same thing? We have Delivery, which was listed in 2022. We have Blue Dart, which is almost 40-year-old company. But let's look at their revenue. Shadowfax, which is 5-month old, is making a revenue growth of 69%. Delivery is 17%, and Blue Dart is 7.35%. Profit growth, yeah, obviously it's a new company. That's why we can see the more profit. But yet it was a loss-making company, and it turned out to be more profitable now. Delivery is making 100%, and this one is at loss. EBITDA margin here, adjusted EBITDA we have taken. So this is Blue Dart is making more, but Shadowfax will improve its EBITDA by next year. Price to earning, PE is 104. As far as today's, price is concerned, it is 98. So yes, the valuation is high, but with the next quarter, say the sales grows and we can see lesser P in this case. But Delivery, it is also 99 P. And PEG ratio here we are considering 0.65, considering the future revenue growth, future PEG. So this is 0.65. So it is cheaper compared to other two. Then sales volume growth, we have 100% sales volume growth compared to other, because it is trying to collaborate with every possible clientele. And revenue per pin code, just as in hospital case, we would discuss the revenue per bed. Here it is per pin code. Shadowfax is making 28 lakhs compared to 15 and 11 lakhs of other two companies. Earning per share, it is right now 1.9. Definitely it is going to increase. Blue Dart, why it is making 18 to 20 is because it is delivering only particular items. So who can be the multi-bagger? The time will tell. Yeah, overall, as far as guidance is concerned, and as per the con call, already there is from 8% to 20% increase is there in the market share. D2C and SME, it is going to concert, and which will increase up to 25% in coming quarters and coming year. Right now, 6,000 pin codes have been covered. That will be extended to 10,000. 6,000 pin code of Tier 2 and Tier 3. Already Tier 1, it has covered 15,000 plus. And as far as Tier 1 is concerned, 15,600 right now they have, and this year they want to expand it to 17,000. Overall, 19,000 3 years. Imagine within 2 years, they are going to cover all the pin codes. That means Shadowfax is available in all the cities, all Tier 2 cities and Tier 3 cities. And right now, dark stores, they have only 15, and they're going to expand it up to 100 within next year. One NCR is the biggest asset to this company. So getting the product sorting, serving out for delivery. Capex, as said, like this time, they're going to invest less on Capex because they've already invested enough. So, and it is crowdsourcing even the workers, employees. So it is not, this part will be saved for coming quarters. And wherever they are expanding, wherever they're spending, it is on AI. And they said they want to acquire more companies, whichever are beneficial for them. That talk of risk involved with this company. Since it is a logistic company, since there are many peer companies, competitive.
Sorry to interrupt, just time check.
Yeah, this is the last slide. Yeah, this is the last slide. Yeah. So as far as logistics, since it is a logistic company, what it needs to take care is consistency. That means it needs to be available all the time whenever there's a delivery. client concentration, as I said, there's already 48 to 49% itself is Meesho, and Meesho is already having its own this one Volmo. What if it wants to expand its own logistic and then get away with Shadowfax? That will be a biggest hit. But Abhishek said, no, that is not a possibility, which is a little unacceptable. And altogether, only the first 5 clients contribute to 75%. They really need to expand themselves to other parts. Gig worker regulation. Recently, we saw Raghav Chet doing a stint operation highlighting the hardships of the workers. So, in case government brings any welfare acts for the gig worker, saying they need to be paid daily basis, they need to be minimum wages, they need to have PF and all, then it becomes a problem for the Shadowfax. And I was just checking with the Reddit and all the feedback thing. There are a lot of complaints from the customers who are not used to Shadowfax, so it really needs to consider the feedbacks very seriously. There's not much visibility as far as the technicals are concerned, but already within 5 months, it has already given 2x, but it will grow even more considering the guidance and the kind of market it is, because volumes are going to grow. And talking of bear case and bull case, yeah, as I said, Meesho, if it wants to pull out from Shadowfax, will be a problem. Client concentration, they need to, widen themselves to other this one. And what if Amazon and Flipkart build their own logistics again? But it is not a possibility. This is what Abhishek said. And gig worker regulation could spike later on. But bull cases, Meesho insourcing failed. Like they wanted to expand, but no. But the cash flow operation confirmed Q3. This one, it is going to stay with Shadowfax. Amazon and D2C cuts concentration contributes to 30%. Service EBITDA is going to grow by 14%. Single fleet, food and everything. This itself is the moat because it is ready to deliver anything and everything. All one IP, these are going to lose by 20 to 40% in coming this one, including eCart, Amazon's, and Walmart of Meesho. And overall, the EBITDA is going to grow. Yeah. So overall, very hopeful about this company that it will give 2x, at least 2x returns in coming 2 years. So as Puneet discussed, whether few companies will, 50% will be considered as to be considered for next, in consideration. So this is the company I think will be into consideration, but whether it will be considered as a long-term stock, I'm not sure. Only the time will tell, provided the Shadowfax works very differently and works on AI. Any queries? Let me know.
Thank you, Rashmiji. So I think
Thank you,
for
Puneet.
interest of time, you look at the queries in the chat, but
Yeah.
a very good presentation, thorough understanding of the sector. Very good effort, actually, I would say you have put to understand and everything. Display it well back to the audience. Thanks a lot
Thank you.
for
Thank you.
this.
Thank you, Puneet. And very best to the next presenters, Sheetal and all. Thank you. I'll stop sharing.
Yeah, look at the chat for the questions and
Yeah, I'm just looking at. Yeah, thank you. I'll answer them. Thank you.
we'll move to the next presenter, Sheetal.
Thank you, Rashmi. Good morning, one and all. I'll just share my screen. One moment. Yeah, can you see my screen now?
Yes, Sheetal ji, go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, one and all, and thank you so much for being here on a Sunday morning. I truly appreciate that. Before I talk about which company I'm going to, bring it to you, I just wanted to tell you one thing. I was recently in a mall, for some shopping, and I happened to see a lot of, tubes and wires and, a lot of industrial equipments. So I just happened to come back and do some research on the same, and I happened to find a very interesting opportunity here. Now, most often, whenever we look at wealth creation, we always think, it is either a financial service industry or a defense or a software. But we often fail to notice things which are right in front of us. So today, I just wanted to bring one such company which is in the intersection of the nuclear power, water security, industrial growth, which we see day to day, but we fail to notice. And that is KSB Limited, KSB India, which is primarily it's into Indian infrastructure. It has a multiple play, and I'll take you through each of those one by one. So, what is KSB? KSB India is the Indian arm of the global KSB group. It's a 150-year-old company. It's backed by a German parent, and it leads in the manufacturing of pumps, valves, and fluid handling systems. So these are the three categories. Over the last 6 decades, KSB has evolved itself from a conventional pump manufacturer into a technology-driven engineering company. It mostly has about 6 centers, Pimpri, Chinwad, and other places. I won't get into the details, but this is all already available. Most of these manufacturing facilities are housed in India. Now, I'll tell you what is the importance of this. Manufacturing plants helps KSB make products. Then there are a lot of warehouses it ensures the spare parts availability. Then you have service centers which generate the recurring revenue for the company. They have extended dealer network which expands the market and expands the market reach, and it drives new sales. There is a very interesting arm of this company which is called the Supreme Serve, which monetizes the installed base for decades. So what we're trying to say here is engineering business, which KSB is currently into, its first sales creates the revenue, but all these installed bases which I mentioned in terms of manufacturing plants, warehouses, etc., this creates the recurring revenue for KSB. Now, rather than not getting into too many details of how, when, and why, it started its operations in 1960. I'll just emphasize on the key points. 74, it's established own foundry operations. Now, foundry is where you convert the metal into, get the raw material and then convert into a respective metal. Then it also acquired in 1997, it acquired MIL Controls, which is again a very strategically placed acquisition. I'll come to it a little later. Then it also acquired, in 2023, it also acquired a BPCL company, which is into reciprocating pumps. Now, the importance of these reciprocating pumps is usually, these are the pumps which are usually used in petrochemical industries, very difficult to manufacture, and it has to go through a API certification, which is an American Petroleum Institute certification. So acquiring this technology gives KSB a great headway. Now, what exactly are we trying to get here? All these acquisitions, it's not just being done, just through the years without any collective thought. It's a clear pattern which emerges, which says it did not grow by simply selling more pumps, but it also expanded its capabilities step by step, from manufacturing to foundries to services to water infrastructure to valves to engineering. And now the interesting part is nuclear, which I'll come to it later. And so, who are the brains behind this? Without emphasizing too many, all these come with decadal experience in multiple arena, which any strong company needs. But I want to emphasize three key management people here. One is Mr. Rajiv Jain. Now, he comes with almost 4 decades of experience, primarily with exposure to nuclear power, water infrastructure, exports, and solar, etc. And his management pedigree is really unparalleled. The second one is Mr. Gaurav Swarup, who's a chairman. Now, he's a mechanical engineer and a Harvard MBA. Now, again, he brings in, 2 decades of strategic oversight and governance and pushes KSB towards long-term continuity. One very interesting and one very interesting aspect here is we have on board one Mr. UC Mukti Bodh. Now, he was earlier with NPCIL, that is Nuclear Power Authority of India. He's a technical expert. He was an ex-technical director. Now, when you have somebody like this on the board, that means it is just not that, the company is just not steering in just one direction, but it is trying to get a monopoly in that particular area. So this is just a hint. Okay, so overall, what we're trying to say is if KSB's technology is coming from Germany, its execution comes from India, and the nuclear expertise comes from leaders who've spent decades building the India's nuclear infrastructure. Now, let's move to what it does and, what products and services. Okay. KSB's products and services are typically divided into 4 different parts. They manufacture pumps, they manufacture valves, they are into Supreme Serve. Now, what are these pumps? Pumps are divided into 2 categories. One is a standard pump, which we normally see everywhere. Like, you see it in water supply buildings. You see in HVAC. What is HVAC? It's a heating, ventilation, and AC systems, which whenever you go to any mall, you see those large pipes which are going above your head. Those are all the HVAC systems. We see it in firefighting, industrial utilities. And these are standard pumps. It's a no-brainer here. Anybody can manufacture. Competition is intense. The next comes engineering pumps. Now, engineering pumps are where KSB's technology and edge comes into place. Okay, these pumps are very much custom designed for critical applications and something like your nuclear power plants, thermal stations, refineries, large infrastructure, which is custom made according to the client. Now, these carry very high entry barriers and higher value addition and also have typically better margin. Now, the numbers what I've indicated here is the pumps, like in overall context of KSB's order intake, 67% forms the pumps, which in that if you divide it, 48 will be standard and engineering pumps are 19%, which are high margin product. Then comes valves. Valves are what? It continues a flow of fluid in any of the motors which you have. I am not getting into details of what products and why because of paucity of time, but these are all available on the company website and everything. So I'm just taking you through the gist of what is there. Now, the valves are primarily you have your isolation and control valves. Now, these are very much critical for all the oil and gas and chemical processing industry. Then an interesting aspect is Supreme Sub. See, you sell the product, which is fine. But in order to get recurring revenue, you have to have something like, product lifecycle where you provide maintenance, spares, repairs, upgrades, and overhauls. Now, this is a continuous cash cow. So here is where KSB has established a stronghold, and 15% of its order intake comprises of this after service. Now, what is this SAP and HANA integration? Now, KSB is actually looking at being from a small margin player to a sustained margin expansion. So this is their mission 1030. And in order to achieve that, they've recently integrated with a SAP, one of the new softwares, which are SAP S4 HANA integration. So that's pretty much the gist of it. So if a simple way to think about this is mission 1030 is where KSB wants to go and SAP HANA is where it is taking them. So these are pretty much the products and services which KSB offers. Again, I want to reiterate this fact. I cannot put all the products and services because there are too many, but I'm just trying to get you the gist of where they are and how they are playing. So pumps form 67% of their order intake. Valves are almost 18% of their order intake, and Supreme Serve, which is 15%. Again, pumps also, engineered pumps are high margin. Valves are roughly around 13 to 14% of margin, and Supreme Serve is also a high margin category. Now let's go to let's try and understand what is driving this company. 3 different aspects. One is nuclear. See, the most exciting tailwind for why I actually chose this company is because of this nuclear resurgence. Now, what happens here is now, see, India is targeting close to 22 gigawatts of nuclear capacity. KSB is the only company in India. It is a complete monopoly. It is having an ISO 19443 certification for nuclear safety. They manufacture primary coolant pumps. Now, when I come to the certain product explanations, I'll tell you what is PCP, but right now we'll park the thought. It is primary coolant pumps. Nobody right now in India is manufacturing this pump. This is an extremely high margin and high barrier entry category. Then next comes is your fossil fuel and energy transition. Now we all know everybody is into solar, and India has also set a target of achieving close to 500 gigawatts of non-fossil fuel energy capacity. What it means to say that the thermal power plants are going to get a great push. Now here, how KSB will benefit here is because they are into boiler feed pumps. This is a kind of pumps, like to put it in simple terms, they are heart of a thermal plant. Okay, so its job is to continuously supply high pressure water into the boiler where the steam is generated, to put it in a simple aspect. Then they are also into flue gas desulfurization. Now, what does this mean? It means that in a thermal plant, it removes the sulfur from the entire thing, and then it will kind of filter it before it's released to the atmosphere. Now, why am I insisting on these two things? Because these two are extremely critical. It's like a heart for any thermal plants, wherein you require a lot of expertise to manufacture these things, and it cannot be done easily. Again, the entry barrier here is extremely high. Then comes the water opportunity. Now, water opportunity is where you have your Jal Jeevan Mission. I won't again explain too much. Jal Jeevan Mission is nothing but, government of India is actually made sure that you have 7 lakh. Government of India is spending close to 7 lakh crores to ensure sanitized, filtered water and sanitized water to a lot of households. That means nothing but providing safe tap water to every rural household. Then you have Amrit, which is again a government of India initiative, which is like something like your Atal mission for rejuvenation and urban transformation. Now, what it does, it focuses on improving water supply and sewage networks. And the other aspects in the water, which comes is smart cities and wastewater programs and all. So what are we getting here? How KSB will benefit? Now, once KSB starts offering solutions across the entire wastewater cycle, they have water extraction, transportation, treatment, desalination, and wastewater management. The opportunity in each of these segments are huge and huge. And so what we're essentially trying to say is KSB is actually participating in each of the tailwinds, which can be extremely promising for the company. Now, before we get into the financials of the company as to how it has done and all, we need to understand one thing. Before even getting into the opportunities of nuclear power and what it is, we also need to understand that it has already delivered a consistent growth. So nuclear, which we are going to discuss in future, will only be gearing up for further margins for the company. Okay, here we go. Revenue from operations, it has grown by 17 CAGR. What it means simply is that 17% revenue CAGR in an engineering company is quite impressive, because it shows how sustained demand is across multiple segments rather than a one-off growth. I won't get into specific numbers because it is all there. I will just emphasize on the key points. Then it comes on the EBITDA growth. If you look at EBITDA is also growing at 17%. Now, please mind, this is consistent growth over 5 years, not a one-off thing. So 17% EBITDA growth. Now, again, it tells us what? It tells us how profitability has grown in line with the revenue as well. So it's not really sacrifice its margin to achieve growth. Then comes PAT. PAT is again, it's 22% CAGR, which is quite impressive for that matter. Now, profits are also growing faster than revenue, which means that we have operational efficiency, which is continuously improving. Let's come to EPCS. EPCS kahan hai? Haan. EPCS is around 15.2. Now 15.2 kya bolta hai? What does it say? It says that ultimately EPS is what is driving any shareholders' wealth creation over a long term. So it's a no-brainer again. That's also consistently growing. We have ROCE. ROCE, if you actually look at, it's grown close to about 24%. You see, now last year they had something known as this labor impact, which they took a hit of about 25 crores. But that apart, if you actually exclude that, then the ROCE is around 24%. So what we're trying to say, the other thing, what I also the net financial position. Now they have almost a cash in hand of 283 crores, which means to say if they have to expand further, they can only look at internal funding and they don't have to look at external funding. They are a virtually debt-free company. They've also been giving generous dividends. Now, this was the overall financial status. But let's also look at now, one more thing I wanted to emphasize. Their calendar year starts from 1st of January till December, not like the other companies, which starts from April to March. So that is where I just wanted to emphasize. So the year ended 25 is December 25. Now, this is the current quarter's growth. Now, current quarter's growth, if you actually notice, the revenue is hardly 1%. There is a muted growth, which we might say. And the pump segment has grown by 5%, but there is slight decline in the valve segment. The reason is because, as you know, there are a lot of, like the Middle East crisis which happened. Some orders which nuclear was supposed to deliver, it got pushed to the next year. So these are the key things that one needs to look at when it comes to this quarter. But what I want to highlight here is, see, the company has generated similar revenue, but it's generated lower profits as well for this quarter. Could be many reasons, because it's there could be margin pressure, then there's a product mix issue, then there's a cost of lower contribution from higher margins. These are some of the things that what we could notice. So I don't want to paint a rosy picture. I'm just bringing to you as to what we've analyzed. But what I can actually say is, this quarter, if you have to summarize, the quarter was operationally stable. Profitability, yes, of course, temporarily impacted. But core growth engine of KSB, when we look at long term, see, we don't only look at one quarter, right? We look at multiple quarters. So the growth engine of KSB remains firmly on track. So that's the key takeaway from this particular slide. Now, competition. See, KSB works under multiple categories. Like, they cater to multiple sectors. They cater to energy, infra, petroleum, then water, solar, etc. So it's very difficult for me to list out long list of players, but I just want to highlight key aspects. Now, Shakti pumps, again, now there are two things, right? Again, standard pumps and engineering. In standard and engineering both, the key players are like your Kirloskar Brothers, Shakti pumps, and WPIL. Now, if I have to just quickly bring in, Shakti Pumps leads the solar category, and Kirloskar Brothers leads the water and irrigation category, because they have a very strong presence in the municipal water irrigation and conventional pumps. And WPIL is an EPC player. But where actually KSB stands out is in the nuclear complexity, because they dominate that market. They also stand out in the aftermarket service margins as well, like Supreme Serve, which I mentioned. They have a global technology transfer, because their parent company is German, so they have a global technology transfer. So these are the aspects which kind of slightly sets them aside from the other competitors. You have other competitors like Flowserve and Suzzler and all that, who play into particular sector category as well. So if I want to put across in a simpler manner as to what exactly I mean, I meant to say that it's a very, since it plays in the multiple sector, it also has a dominance in the aftermarket margin, nuclear sector as well, and it's got a great global pedigree. Now, what are its strengths and weaknesses? Now, strengths are basically, see, it's got an absolute dominance in the Indian nuclear segment. It's got a German parent backing, and also ISO 19443 certification, which I already highlighted. Now, what could be the weaknesses? See, whenever you're doing any such project management and all that stuff, usually you have a long working capital. So working capital intensity, because all these are lumpy revenues, right? You don't get it in just one time, or once when you get it, it could be huge. So you have long, power cycle projects, etc., and you have lumpy revenues. So these are the weaknesses, and we also have, sometimes some orders might get pushed to another quarter or so. So these are the things that we need to kind of look into, and also some side delays in large government infrastructure execution, especially in cases of nuclear, because it's a long gestation period. Then opportunities are multiple, because it works in multiple sectors, and it is also developing new product categories and all that stuff. So the opportunities are insane here. And also India has recently started, right, Atmanirbhar, manufacture all the products and most of the products in India. So the opportunities for somebody like KSB is pretty huge. Now, what could be some threats? I don't call it really threats, or the areas of opportunities which I can say. See, because it participates in multiple sectors, there could be huge price competition. So sometimes they also have to work with lower margins only to keep up the revenue flow. And also, having said that, what they also do is they keep this up because it gives them recurring revenue. Like, say, for example, you also work for low margin, so that you get that after sales service and all that stuff from the same company. So it keeps cash flow going. That's one thing. Again, raw material. Recently, we are all aware, what happened in the Middle East crisis and all that stuff. So raw materials have an impact. Then obviously the availability of fuel, because most of these are gas furnaces, and because of this, you usually have a problem wherein supply of fuel is not there. So then manufacturing get hit. So these are all the constraints that one needs to live with. Okay, now the key thing. Currently, as on December 25, their order book is close to 2,500 crores, roughly. Okay, it's split into two parts, nuclear and non-nuclear. Now, for nuclear, I'll come back to it later. Non-nuclear is around 1,300. If you notice in nuclear forms close to about 50% of the order book. Now, what it means that, they have a high barrier to entry. They have multi-year revenue visibility. It's not only 1 year, 3 to 4 years from now, you have multi-year visibility, because they have a deep engineering mode and strictly regulated. So is there a moat here? Yes. Is it penetrable? Not really. So do you have a headway here? Do you have a option here? Yes. So nuclear optionality is something that we need to really consider. Then when it comes to non-nuclear, because they are into pumps, valves, and supreme, sir, the entire order is around 1,300 crores. Because so if you have to put it totally, I have a perfectly balanced pipeline here. I have an immediate cash flow in terms of non-nuclear and a long-term predictable revenue. So the cycle of revenue runs very smoothly. Now let's understand where is this revenue coming from, and how it's actually working. See, their exports increased from 200 to 600 crores, nearly a 17%. I'll come to it step by step, how exports are doing, how solar, how water. They are into 4 or 5 different phases, vector 1, vector 2, but I'll come to each of those. So let's first focus on the exports. They have roughly scaled from 200 to 600 crores. Now here, again, it's a very healthy growth. They have recently started exporting to African markets. They have also started exporting to, US markets as well. So that's where we see huge exports. But one thing we need to notice, they're not because when you come into export markets, they usually look at the packaging and painting quality, because these are all pumps. So KSB is not very strong there. So the management has indicated they're trying to improve on those lines. And, going forward, they should look at hitting at least 25% from here. From 17, it should become 25%. This is what the management has, committed. And they have recently exported, as I mentioned, submersible bore pumps, like which is in the water area, to Africa. They've also, one more thing is, they've also gas-fired, they've exported close to 50 crores of gas-fired power plants to USA. These are boiler feed pumps, which I earlier mentioned, right? Like it's quite critical to thermal power plant. Then one interesting aspect is they also have this Abu Dhabi, Abu Dhabi oil refinery as one of their customers. Now, how it can help them? Basically, whenever you're doing exports and when you have such customer tie-up, it will help you in higher international pricing. So your margins will be better. You have a better realization per pump, currency depreciation benefits, and you have access to larger products. So if I have to look at this, from 17%, if you're moving to 25 to 30, the KSB's margin could really improve even without dramatic domestic price increase. Now, then comes solar. Now, in solar, as we are all aware, Pradhan Mantri Yojana, which was Kusum, which mentioned, see, what is Kusum? It tells that, instead of using, other water pumps and all, you use solar pumps. This mainly helps a lot of farmers in rural areas to get the solar benefits. Now, how KSB is, benefiting here? They manufacture the solar submersible and borewell pumps. So farmers usually benefit out of these. And because this is a government of India initiative, government subsidies makes these adoption very, very easy. And because they are into this, they've already secured huge orders from PCC. Their clients are like PCC, Reliance, MSCDL, etc. They've also launched a first central warehouse in Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. This shows the seriousness that they want to grow this further. So, and the growth is also quite impressive. It's close to about 112%. I'm talking about the order intake. How it helps them is because, see, once when you are into this kind of service, you are also tapping the rural market. You are helping yourself diversify the business beyond the traditional industrial and infrastructure segments. Now, then comes water. In water and other ESG infrastructure, KSB usually manufactures the irrigation pumps, agricultural pumps, and submersible, borehole pumps. They have already got the orders. They're already working with municipal corporations like Calcutta, Amritsar, and Navi Mumbai, etc. Now, one key specialty thing here is, earlier they were only using irrigation pumps and agricultural pumps, but now they're also manufacturing something known as a localized larger pumps. Now, what it helps them do, it helps them to get into larger projects like your urban water supply. For example, Mumbai water supply hua, ya Chennai water supply hua. These are the kind of projects it helps them to get there. It also helps them to participate in larger sewage treatment plants and water treatment plants, desalination projects, etc. Now, one interesting aspect I want to bring it to your notice here. Recently, the management highlighted, it seems that L&T has asked them to be prepared. Now, if you hear the unheard, I am repeating this aspect. If you hear the unheard, what L&T means to say is that there's something big is in store, and let's try to derive what it exactly means. See, if L&T is a large EPC contractor, right? Like say, whenever they take an order, they take somewhere between 2,000 to 10,000 crores. Now, if this is the kind of order, the order will be mostly for large vertical turbine pumps, split case pumps, raw water pumps, etc. I mean, these are certain products. So what it means, if L&T is telling them to be prepared, it means it either KSB is already on their vendor list, or they are being considered for the upcoming tenders, or the KSB is expecting a substantial order inflow. So these are all the hidden messages one needs to decode. So the management also mentioned that they are expecting, the continuous business from L&T and Wabag and other, infrastructure contractors. So we have a healthy, CAGR of 30% in the order intake. So that should also keep the cash flow engine moving. Now, why it matters? For example, in a water, let's just take a simple example. कोई भी अगर एक water project है, which is close to about 5,000 crores, now 100 to 300 crores of pumps and pumps are usually used in such a project. Now 300 crores in one order, which means it's a substantial revenue for a company if they are going to get this order. This is the entire portfolio of pumps. So what we're essentially trying to say, this water infrastructure opportunity can also potentially generate larger order inflows and volumes and also revenue for the next decade. So in the management also, when we read what they had to say, they also sounded very optimistic about the EPC pipeline as well. Then comes your commercial firefighting. See, when you these days, lot of emphasis are there on the data centers. There is a lot of cooling which is required for data centers. KSB has also started getting into that area as well. Now, for something like data centers and some commercial buildings like AIMS, metro systems and airports, etc., it becomes very important to have the right firefighting aspects in place. So this, surprisingly, KSB has witnessed a 68% growth in the order intake. So that's quite interesting. So what they're essentially trying to say is they're trying to tell you that, this is also one of the promising, promising trajectories that they could look at. Now comes the most important part. Earlier I mentioned KSB is one of the India's monopoly in terms of primary coolant pumps. Now I'll just take a minute to explain to you in terms of what is the importance. See, there are various types of reactors. Mainly there are two types. One is pressure water reactor and pressure heavy water reactors. Pressure water reactors are the ones which are used in all these small medium reactors which are going to be coming in future, that requires enriched uranium. Now, enriched uranium is extremely costly to obtain and it is not commercially feasible at this point in time. The pressured high water reactor uses heavy water to create the thermal energy. Okay. Now, because it uses only uranium, you don't need to enrich that, but it requires a critical pump to pump in the water to generate this and all. And this usually happens, the water has to be circulated at 300 degrees, etc. And it works under a very different mechanism altogether. The only thing is it requires extremely stringent certifications. Nobody currently in India, I reiterate the fact, nobody currently in India is manufacturing these pumps currently. So that's a huge monopoly for KSB. Now, how this is helping us? See, the NPCIL plans to set up close to about 12 indigenous 700 megawatts of pressured high water reactors. Okay, this is here what happens in the under the Atmanirbhar initiative, India wanted to indigenize most of this PCP technology. So that is why most of the orders have gone into KSB. They have obtained the Gorakhpur nuclear order, which is for 8 coolant pumps, 8 PCP pumps. And they have also, these, see, now again, nuclear orders are high gestation period. What happens is they first get the order, then it has to be stringently tested for all the quality and certifications, etc., and only it can be commissioned. Recently, in March 2000, in March 26, the Tarapur testing happened. That's very critical for us, because when any such pump is before commissioning, it goes through a very rigorous process of 500 hours of testing. Only then it can be commissioned. So that management clearly indicated that the testing has started taking place. So that's a very promising thing. How it helps us is right from the order intake, so this will convert it into revenue. So what management has also mentioned is in this year, they also want to, they expect about 2 to 4 pumps to be invoiced during 2026. Now, 2 to 4 pumps, see, typically 2 pumps is around 500 crores. Roughly one pump is around 250 crores, we can say. So 2 to 4 pumps, you can imagine the order intake which will be coming through. So they've recently obtained a 500 crores of 500 crores of order from Kaiga nuclear plant. Again, the delivery is close to 26 and 27 here. Again, this will add to their further revenue projections. So what it includes is, again, these all represents a repeat order under India's fleet mode nuclear program. Deliveries again will happen in phases as a project construction progresses. Not only that, they're also expanding their product basket. Now, one aspect I wanted to bring to your notice is something like a mechanical seal. Now, whenever any valve leaks, you need the mechanical seal to immediately seal it up so that it can function easily. Now, it is a very low value product, but what matters is how immediately the service person is available to take care of those repairs. So that's where KSB has a distinction. Then they're also, as I mentioned, they're also into firefighting aspects as well. They've started the Omega series of axial split pumps. These are all new innovations which has come, which will help them. What it's essentially trying to say, that they are trying to tell us that not only the margins are there from the existing order, but they are also consistently innovating and developing new products which will add on to their margin further. I had earlier mentioned that they've acquired the BPCL acquisition, right? So how this helps us is this helps KSB to sell highly specialized pumps for critical industrial applications. These are known as reciprocative pumps, which are heart of most of the oil and gas industry. So it helps KSB to also manufacture these pumps in-house. So as an investor, what I would like to watch here, in case if I want to invest in here, is one is whether the Tarapur primary coolant pump qualification, whether that is qualified or not, when the invoicing of the first PSPs happen, and also the the Kaiga project deliveries. I had also mentioned about the the Supreme Serve, which I'd mentioned. Now, these are it's their after service delivery aspect. That is one thing. This is also a high margin area which they are looking at, and they are expanding here considerably as well. Then the other thing is the manufacturing hub. They're also trying to manufacture most of the products in-house, which will also give them a revenue, which will also give them a margin headway. Now, the another growth factor is something known as LUV pump. Now, these are all highly specialized boiler recirculation pumps, which they acquired from the BC company. Now, what they do is they are used in large supercritical thermal power plants. This is one of the KSB's flagship products as well. And it has traditionally been manufactured in Europe and supplied worldwide. But now they are manufacturing this indigenously, which will help them to obviously, increase their revenue margins. So why all these things are important? Their higher value addition, access to large thermal power orders, export opportunity. Again, this moves KSB India up the further value chain. Okay, now this is the forecast model. Now, again, I could be completely wrong here, and I'd like to put this disclaimer. The FY25 are the actual revenues. The rest of them are all forecasted. Now, what we have taken into assumption here is, let's say the management has indicated that they would like to grow 15 to 20% growth in the ex-nuclear business, excluding nuclear. So we've taken that into consideration. Then also we've taken, historically, company has grown by around 17% in the top line and 22% in the bottom line. So even if you're looking at that conservative estimate, your EPS will be around 33 approximately by FY27. And even if you look at a multiple of, let's say, currently it is trading at a PE multiple of around 50 approximately. So even if you look at a multiple of 40 from here, the share price should double. Now, what could go wrong in our assumptions? What could go right in our assumptions is basically that they have the faster nuclear execution, they have additional NPCIL orders, They have like Mahi Banswara, another unit which is coming up. They have those orders as well. Export growth reaches 25%. Data center opportunity scales up. So these are again all the assumptions. Downside could be what? The Tarapur testing could be delayed. The nuclear revenue recognition might get delayed again. Commodity inflation. Then, industrial capex itself could become weak and lower order inflow is expected. So we cannot say. So considering all these factors, keeping a very conservative aspect, these are the projections which we want to highlight. So, see, this forecast, what we have done is pretty optimistic, but it's not unrealistic. The reason is we have already got 1,300 crores of nuclear order book. It will start converting from 26 to 28, those 2 years window. Okay, something the management itself has repeatedly emphasized. If nuclear execution finally ramps up as planned, this model actually looks achievable from our end, but again, pros and cons, subject to pros and cons. They've also, apart from the order book which I mentioned, they've also recently acquired multiple other orders as well, like the NTPC Nabinagar order, the IOCL order, the Kudankulam plant and all. But the management has not specified what is the order value of this, so that we don't have an information. Now, technically, it's at a very interesting zone. Roughly, it's trading at currently it is around 800. Now, 600 to 700 could be a good buy zone, but I don't know whether it will reach there or what. It is looking quite promising. 950 could be a breakout zone. And this is not your run by mill of the operator, Chatmangni Pachadi. No, it's not a momentum stock. But if you want to hold this in your portfolio consistently, I think it could really, add value, is what I can say. What I would also like to mention is, see, this stock does not sell you aspirations. Okay, it does not give you a rosy picture or anything. It sells you what is necessity. Now, from my experience, from whatever little I've understood, I've often noticed that whenever a product becomes mission critical, right, the business supplying it often becomes investment worthy. So with that, I close and I'm open to questions. And thank you so much for patiently hearing me out. And I hope I've not crossed my timeline.
Yeah, that's fine. I think that's a wonderful presentation and beautifully made as well. I think you clearly highlighted the moat as well on what could be the right triggers for this. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Let me check any questions on the chat, or people can unmute and ask if they want to.
People, can I have a look at the last slide, please, before the thank you? Thanks.
Yeah. Did I stop sharing or something?
No, you go to the last slide. Go up.
Yeah. So this is the bear case, bull case. See, currently we are trading at 51 thing. We have a 15% EBITDA, 51% P, 51 P. Now, bull cases, if your Supreme Serve, Supreme Serve drives a revenue of close to 20% and you get all the NPCIL orders, then we are looking at multiple expansion driven, multiple margin expansion across various product categories. Bear case, I already mentioned as to what could finally go wrong. So it's like a buy and hold capital goods compounder for somebody who's very patient and long term, and not somebody who look at, I invested today, I need 2x in the next 2 months. That's not going to happen. So I'm just setting the realistic aspect right.
Yeah, Amar, you're looking for this slide only or some other slide?
Sorry, was speaking on. Yeah, this was the slide. Thank you, Shekhar.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Shekhar. Just look at the chat in case you have some questions there.
Sure.
Okay, thank you once again. We'll move to the next presenter, Deepali.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Just quickly let me share my screen. Is this visible?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah. Okay. Very good morning to everybody. Let's quickly start with the presentation. I hope I might not take a lot of time because I am not that much expert. This is my second ALD presentation. The company that I'm going to present today is Gaudium IVF and Women Health Limited. So why I chose this company is because the fertility rate in India and overall globally is falling a lot, which is actually fallen so much so that it is not replacing the population. So it is a very risky situation that India is facing right now. Most people might see IVF as a healthcare service, but I see it as one of the India's largest underpenetrated healthcare opportunities. So let us quickly go through what exactly Gaudium does and how exactly it works. Uh, so the company was founded in 2009 and it was named as Gaudium IVF. It was actually founded as a single clinic, but later on it expanded, and right now this is the only and the first company which is listed on NSE, which is serving the area of fertility and hospitals. So the company is actually formed by Dr. Manika Khanna, who has 16 years of experience in the fertility segment and who is the brand and clinical representative of the fertility segment in India. And the company is operating in India's ART, that is Assisted Reproductive Technology and Fertility Care market, wherein it is not just limited to the IVF services, it is assisting patients in the PCOD, in LSCI, in GPTs, which we are going to see further. What are those treatment which are actually assisted with women infertility as well as male infertility? So this is not just limited to IVF. The area where it is serving is a very broad spectrum. So in the coming slides, we are going to see what exactly they are doing. So as you can see the timeline herein, it was formed in 2009 as a single Janakpuri IVF center, and right now it has expanded its footfall in around 30 plus locations, which is including 7 hubs and 28 spoke centers. So basically, what are hubs and spokes that here we can see? So as you can see on the India map, the geographical footprint of the company is growing at a larger pace. And in the coming year, they are planning more hubs and more spokes, which we are going to see further. So basically what the hub is a fully equipped ART or IVF center, which is located majorly in metro cities, and it contains IVF laboratories, embryology lab, OT procedure rooms, and the high-end IVF equipments and specialized doctors and embryologists sit there actually and work. Basically, the complicated part, whatever that has to be done in a process, is done at the hub. And what are the spokes? Spokes are generally for consultation, for diagnostics, for ultrasounds, counseling of patients, for their follow-up and patient acquisition and referrals. So patients who are needing IVF procedures are then routed to the nearest hub, which is accessible to the patient. So basically here you can see there are 7 hubs which are located at Delhi, Mumbai, Ludhiana, Srinagar, Patna and Bangalore locations. And the spokes are spread all over India, wherein you can see there are 6 spokes in Maharashtra, 2 in Delhi NCR, one hub in UP, sorry, 1 spoke in UP, then 6 in Bihar. So the spread is happening at a good rate. So as per their claim, till now they have built a good foundation and good SOP, so much so that they are very confident on uh, uh, their expansion that they are planning. So in addition to fertility treatment services, the company is operating a 15-bed daycare hospital in Janakpuri, Delhi, wherein they are supporting procedural and outpatient requirements. It also derives ancillary healthcare revenue through an in-house pharmacy business. So as per their claim, they are not planning on expanding the revenue through the pharmacy business. They are majorly focused on the IVF part only. and this is only wholly managed by the Gaudium International Private Limited subsidiary. So these are the promoters of the company. The main driver, the main leading light of the company is Dr. Manika Khanna, and she is the promoter, chairperson, and MD of the company. She has a degree in MBBS and MD in obstetrics and gynecology from Maharaja Sayajirao University, with advanced training in Germany and IVF endoscopy. So she has a deep industry experience of around 16 years and execution track record. She has successfully established 7 IVF hubs and 28 spokes all across India. She has been awarded with Delhi Ratna Award in 2008 and Women Excellence Award in 2016 for her great contribution to infertility treatment. The other promoter is Dr. Piyush Khanna, and who is also a whole-time director of Gaudium IVF and Women Health Limited. The medical qualification of this is his is MBBS, and he's majorly he has done a diploma in child health from Delhi University. So he also has an industry experience of around 10 plus years, and these are some more people from the board of the company like Vishad Khanna, Rajesh Bhojani, and other people. So let us quickly see what are the services that Gaudium is providing. So the main services that are provided are like co-fertility services, wherein IVF comes into that, ICSI, that is intracytoplasmic sperm injection, wherein a procedure it is a procedure wherein a single sperm is injected directly into an egg to aid fertilization. This is mainly done for male infertility. Then IUI is done for female infertility, wherein a treatment where prepared sperm is placed directly into the uterus to increase the chances of pregnancy. These are the two services which are done outside of the laboratory. In IVF, the egg and sperms are fertilized in the lab itself, but ICSI and IUI are done on the humans directly. Then there are egg freezing services, which is called as vertification. This is largely promoted by government nowadays. Why? Because the age wherein people are marrying, the age wherein girls are trying to, or women are trying to get pregnant is getting late. So by the time they are ready for conception, the the number of eggs that are generated are reduced, and the quality is also reduced. So the government is actually promoting freezing of eggs and then using it for the conception purpose. Then there are surgical services, male infertility services, female infertility like PCOS, PCOD treatments that has been done by Gaudium. Then they are providing surrogacy support. If somebody wants to do surrogacy, they are providing support for that as well. They also have helplines for counseling of the patients. So this is service revenue split of the company, wherein major part of the revenue is coming from the IVF treatment, which is around 64%. 31% revenue is coming from the pharmacy, and 4% revenue is coming from the hospitals. So as they are claiming that they are not in the plans of expanding the pharmacy revenue, they are focused morely on the IVF treatments. So recently, they have initiated, or they have added AI initiatives, that are SID and ERICA. These are the two tools that they are using, which we are going to see further in the slides, what exactly they do. And as per their claim, the initial, the before inception of the AI, the first attempt success rate was around 58%, but after the inception of AI apps, the rate has been increased by 7 to 8%. This is very early result, but they are very confident on the results as well. Then, as per their claim, the multiple attempt success rate is around 85%, which is very competent with the players that are there present in the India. There are total workforce is around 122 employees. There are only 5 embryologists are there. Nurses are 23, doctors are 18, but they are very confident on their SOPs, so much so that if anybody leaves the company or anybody newly joined employees there, the workforce or the working of the company is not going to hamper by that. So we should be very confident on this part, that there are very less embryologists, but as per their claim, as the hubs and spokes are getting increased in the numbers, the number of embryologists is also going to increase. So core driver of Gaudium are IVF treatments like ICSI, IUI, ovulation induction, FET, PGT. The pharmacy, it is wholly owned subsidiary by Gaudium International Private Limited, which is acquired 100% in 2023, which is an in-house pharmacy which provides the medication that has been required for the patients in-house. So what are the expansion plans of the company? So they want to increase their footfall overall the India. They are also treating patients outside India, like around 30 plus countries. Patients are there which are treated by Gaudium. So in FY27 they are planning through 3 out of 10 hubs which are launching soon. Like 10 hubs they were planning. Out of that, 3 are already launching. The first one, which is in Delhi, like South Delhi, which is going to launch in around a month, and 2, that is one in Gurgaon and one in Nagpur, that has been set to launch around in 2 to 3 months. In FY28, they are planning to they are planning 8 new centers, and in FY29, 1 new center they are planning. So how the customers are acquired in the company? So they are actually following 360-degree method for that. So basically, major part of the acquisition is done by digital marketing, wherein performance marketing and SEO is done. Then outreach in tier 2 and tier 3 cities is done through digital marketing only, and they are aggressively marketing through social media. As we all know, social media is a very big player in terms of marketing of any company, so they are taking advantage of that and increasing their footfall. Then 30% of the patients come through word of mouth. Historically very strong patient network they have, because the success rate is very high and the services they provide are at par. That is why the word of mouth is also playing a good role in the customer acquisition. Then through media relations, through press conferences, through interviews, 10% of patients are getting acquired. And finally, the 10% are getting acquired by strong brand messaging through ATL, through BTL. What are the key clinical highlights of Gaudium? So basically, they are saying that they have formed an SOP so strong that this is the strong point of the company, which will give good results. Then they are having different AI powered IVFs. Like this is the first company in India and second outside US to introduce AI tools SID and Erica into the IVF. Because of induction of those, the results are getting improved a lot. They have in-house trained talent. As per their claim, whenever somebody is joining the company, they have in-house training, whether the joinee is experienced or inexperienced. It is compulsion for the person that they should go through the training, and then only they should start working in the company. They are they are always on constant innovation. The labs are very well equipped, and they also have dedicational emotional counseling support for patients, which is also boost for improving the IVF footfall of the company. Then ART law compliance is there through government, because the government is also promoting IVF because of the low fertility rate in India, and also they are having global patient base which is successfully treating patients around 30 plus countries. As I already said, the success rate at one attempt in early results is shown an increase in 8 to 9% with SID and Erica. So what exactly is SID and Erica? I have taken names so many times. So basically SID is a sperm identification technique, wherein the AI analyzes the sperm in real time using AI based imaging, which was generally done by an embryologist. So depending on different embryologists, the result may vary because of human understanding, human practice. The result may vary, but with the use of AI, AI imaging, the result will be very accurate. It evaluates the key parameter, including the motility of the sperm, the movement patterns. It enables the selection of the highest quality sperm with greater consistency. What happens with this is that it reduces subjectivity in sperm selection. It improves fertilization and embryo quality. It ensures consistency across across all the centers because of the use of AI. All the processes that are done at all centers will be similar, irrespective of the embryologist. Then, what is ERICA? It helps in analyzing the embryo image using advanced algorithm. It evaluates multiple developmental parameters and identify features which are not visible to the human eye. And it classifies embryos which are good, which are optimal for further process, and then select those. And it improves embryo selection accuracy and reduces reliance on additional invasive tests. So, with use of AI, what has happened is the success rate has become good. Then the process is standardized. They have reduced the subjectivity, like data driven decision has been done, making at critical stages. They are scalable clinical quality, and that means they are enabling expansion without compromising the outcomes, and they are bringing out sustainability technology advantage. This is the IVF industry overview. You might be thinking, what exactly is the status of IVF globally and in India? So as you can see, in India, IVF market size is around 1.32 USD billion dollars. In 2024, it was the number, but it is it is supposed to grow around 13.1% CAGR, and it is going to reach around 4.54 USD billion in 2034. So global IVF market is projected to grow from 27.49 billion to 54.60 billion US dollars. So it is growing at around 7.1% CAGR. And India's share in global market is around 4.8% right now, but it is expected to increase to 8.3% globally. And India is remaining amongst the fastest growing IVF markets globally, outpacing the developed markets that are there. There is a huge gap and huge need of the treatment. Why? Because only 2% of penetration of addressable demand is there in India, and only there are 27.5 million infertile couples in India, but only 3 lakh IVF cycles are done annually. That means less than 2% of them. And as per the data, only 1 in 50 couple who require IVF currently access the treatment. That means you can see there is a huge gap, huge tailwind in this sector, wherein out of 50, only one couple is preferring the service. So a lot of growth that can happen in this sector. Structurally, there is supply gap because IVF access remains concentrated in only top 8 metro cities like Delhi, NCR, Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Chennai, Kolkata, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Pune. There are a lot of small hospitals that are there which are providing IVF services. But the industry is transitioning right now from fragmented standalone clinics to organized platforms. And the ART is also accelerating the shift towards compliant and scalable players. That is, they are promoting the scalable and compliant players. What are the growth drivers of the IVF industry? What are the growth drivers for Gaudium? The first one is the declining fertility rate. The India's fertility rate has fallen below replacement levels, indicating structural demand, and the continued decline expected, increasing reliance on assisted reproductive treatments. People are delaying parenthood. People are actually marrying late. People are more focused on career these days. So that is why the fertility is also getting affected. This might be one of the growth driver for the industry. Then lifestyle is changing a lot. Rising incidence of PCOC, obesity, stress, and hormonal disorders because of work culture, because of the environment, because of the food they take in. So lifestyle and health factors also a growth factor. There is improving awareness and acceptance towards IVF. Earlier, there was a lot of stigma around IVF services. People used to think that this is not good, we should not go for it. Also, there was one thing that males used to think that it is no need that they should get tested for going for pregnancy. But right now, people are very well informed. They come ahead, they also go for testing. That means the stigma is reducing slowly, gradually, but it is going at a good rate, and it is also a growth driver for this industry. The technology driven outcomes are there, that has been proved by many companies. Like there is advancement in AI enabled embryo selection, genetic testing, and cryopreservation. The improving success rates, patient conversion, and confidence via AI driven technology integration, that has been happening through technology. Then medical tourism is also promoted by Government of India, and IVF treatment across the globe is around 5 times of the cost that has been done in India. Like IVF treatment in India costs around 70 to 80% lower than developed markets. So positioning India as a global destination for fertility treatment. And there is a regulatory tailwind as well, wherein ART Act is driving standardization, transparency, and compliance, and accelerating consolidation in favor of organized players. So these are the growth drivers for IVF treatments. What are the entry barriers? Nobody, directly come and say that I can enter in IVF industry. They need some compliances. They need some infrastructure that has been required for IVF treatments. Like nobody can directly come and say I have high capital, I have infrastructure cost as well. Nobody can directly say that I have a good R&D, I have a good team, and I can start IVF center. So there is a lot that has to be done to start a good result oriented IVF hospital. So these are the entry barriers for the industry. So every barrier above is a moat for Gaudium, because they have already crossed, positioning the company as a category leader with sustainable competitive advantage. So all the entry barriers they have converted as their moat, and they are progressing very well. So as per the Gaudium claim, they have built over 15 years a lot of strengths. Like they have SOP driven operations, they have established and trusted brand, they have clinical excellence because they have a good embryologist associated with them, they have innovative led care, they have also emotional and counseling support, they have global reach because they are treating patients all across the globe, like around 30 plus countries they have treated patients. Then scaling and the blueprint. So here you can see what are the growth plans of the company. So they are planning on expanding the expanding the hubs and spoke network of the company, wherein the spokes are mainly will be deployed in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. uh, as per the recent con call, the MD said that they are planning 3 more spoke globally to treat the global patient, like one in Nigeria, one in Canada, and the other one is in Paris. So their patients can be treated. That will be spokes, but the major treatment that has to be done, that is done only in India. They are also working on GAAT, that is genome based IVF treatment, which is the proprietary in-house advanced genomic IVF module, which is designed to address complex infertility cases that Gaudium can access. An amount of rupees 7.4 crore has been capitalized as an intangible asset under the development in FY25, with no royalty payable to the promoter. So these are the growth plans of the company, wherein they are targeting to establish 19 new centers across major cities and underserved tier 2-3 regions to multiply the referral pipeline. They are also planning 3 spokes, as I already told, overseas in Nigeria, in Canada, and as well as in Paris. So they are expanding cross-border fertility care, currently serving patients from 30 plus countries via UK global office. H1 FY26 saw 76 international patients versus 104 in all of FY25, indicating acceleration. Global model, remote consults and execution in India. As I already told you, they will be consulting remotely, but execution will be done only in India. Now here we can see the different players that are there in IVF market, like Indira IVF, Nova IVF, Oasis, and the fourth one is Gaudium. As per the revenue, you can see that Gaudium is having very small revenue of around 70.7 crore, but Indira is having around 1,604 crore of revenue, which is multifold of Gaudium. But you can see the number of centers that are there operating. So Indira has around 186 centers, which are largest player by scale, and Gaudium has around 7 hubs, which are small scale but high potential. The EBITDA margin, you can see Indira is giving EBITDA margin around 33.4%, but Gaudium is giving 40.5%, which is highest profitability in all of the IVF players. And the success rate, as you can see, the success rate here they are giving as 58.2%, which is already improved with the help of AI. And also this is the first attempt success rate. So in a cycle, the success rate is cumulative success rate is around 85%. So this is also a compatible thing for Gaudium, which can be a moat to grow further. So as you can see, PE consolidation trend, like a lot of big players are interested in IVF sector, wherein BPEA Equity has acquired Indira IVF by paying around 1.1 billion. And then KKR have acquired ART fertility clinics by paying around 450 million, and Global Pure Place by Monash and Xingxin, which is from China. So a lot of big players are interested in IVF sector. So what are the key takeaways from all these moat metrics is that Gaudium IVF is currently a small player in terms of scale and revenue, but it has the highest profitability, that is EBITDA margin, in the listed peers. It commands premium pricing, that is average revenue per patient. We saw it is around 2.9, around 3 lakhs, almost at par with the largest player. And sorry, its success rate is better than any mid-sized. Sorry, give me a second. The success rate is better than many mid-sized peers and improving. I'm not talking about other players. I'm just comparing Gaudium with Indira, which is the biggest player in India. Now they are operating in a fast-growing industry with strong PE interest and consolidation. And Gaudium is positioning itself as premium, high-quality IVF brand with strong potential to scale nationally. As they are saying that treating patient internationally, so they want to brand themselves as a premium player. So in one line, Gaudium is a small but premium and highly profitable IVF company in a rapidly growing industry with strong consolidation potential. So the company is actually positioned very strategically. It is having a premium niche and volume scale. So as you can see, Gaudium IVF is premium and international tourism, which is focusing on premium patients, NRI, and international fertility seekers, which is an asset light model because there are very less hubs, which is having all the centralized labs and all the complicated things in hubs, and spokes, which are smaller clinics, which is having basic facility over there. So expansion model is very asset light, and 40% of EBITDA they are giving, like premium pricing plus efficient model. That means very high profitability. For other players, you can see mass market volume is there, but large scale domestic patient base is there. But here in Gaudium, the patients are from India as well as from outside of India. And in traditional corporate hospitals, the patient base is very limited and fertility is not their core focus. So, what is the strategic verdict out of it? The Gaudium avoids competing on pure patient volume. Instead, it captures outsized profit pools in the premium and medical tourism branches. So, what are the strengths of the company? Sorry. It is operating on high growth IVF industry. Then the EBITDA margin is very strong, that is 40%. There is a very experienced promoter led management that is there because the doctor is itself has her skin in the game. Then high ROE and ROC is there. What are the opportunities for IVF sector in India? Like there is a large untapped IVF market in India that we have already seen. They are going to expand their presence in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. There is rising medical tourism in India that has been happening and which is also promoted by the government. They are using AI and advanced fertility technologies that is improving their results. There is a lot of growing acceptance. There is a lot of stigma. There was a lot of stigma around the IVF treatment, but it has been reduced a lot. The potential insurance inclusion is also there. Right now, I'm not sure about this fact whether insurance is there or not, but potential insurance inclusion can also happen. What is the weakness of this sector? There is a weak cash flow conversion. There is a tax litigation and governance concern against the company as well as the promoter. There is limited nationwide presence right now, but they are planning on scaling their footfall all over the India. It is very small scale, but there are a lot of larger players, but they are very confident on the results that they are going to go great in the coming quarter and coming years. What are the threats for this company? There is intense competition for large chains. There are regulatory changes in IVF industry. There is shortage of skilled embryologists, but they are saying that with the increasing number of hubs and spokes, the embryologists are going to increase, and with the help of AI, the results are getting optimized. There is a expansion execution risk, but as per their claim, they are saying that till now they have built a good foundation, and right now they are in cut paste mode, wherein they can just create an hub or a spoke within very less time. There might be an economic slowdown impacting discretionary healthcare spending. So, what are the catalysts for growing of this company? Like 40% EBITDA margin is there of the company, 30% CAGR of the industry, which is having a great tailwind, and which is a asset light scalability model that the company is following. But what are the frictions of the company? Like 63% attrition rate is there. But as per their claim, this is not the problem for them, because every person who is newly joining the company, they have a strong training for them. They have a strong SOP. So as per their claim, the results are not going affected because of the attrition. The tax litigation is there, but as per the recent con call, they are saying they are very positive about this. The aggressive tripling of footprint is there, is a friction for this company. These are the financial snapshots. As the company is recently listed, there are not a lot of numbers that are available, but whatever I could find, I have put in all the numbers over here, wherein we can see the market cap is around 850 crore. The current price is, the stock price is around 117 rupees. The stock P is around 50.2, which is very good. ROC is 48.6, ROE 52.2. Debt to equity number is very less because they are not expanding by taking loans. They are expanding with very less, they are expanding with the help of funds they have created through IPO. The PEG ratio is very competitive, that is 1.49, and promoter holding is 71.3%, which is a great point because the promoter is itself having her skin in the game. And as you can see, the compounded sales growth is for 3 years is around 25% and TTM is 48%. And profit growth for 3 years is 29% and TTM is 85%. While margins moderated during the year, they continue to remain among best in healthcare service sector. The EBITDA margin stood at 36.14%. PA margin stood at 23.85%. They are reflecting the company's ability to generate substantial profits from early rupee of revenue. Now here you can see the EBITDA is grown from EBITDA has grown from 28.63 to 37.70. That means year-on-year growth is around 31.69%. The revenue from operations has grown from 70.72 to 104.35. So year-on-year growth is very good. That is 47.56%. The PAT margin has grown from it has been reduced 27.12 to 23.47. The reason they have given for this, that they are in the expansion phase, wherein during the last year they are planning to expand through hubs and spokes. So these are the numbers for revenue from operations, EBITDA, PAT margin, and PAT. I'm not going to go a lot of in the numbers. because there is a very less data that has been available for me to reading and for me to guide to you. Gaudium's consolidated revenue growth was driven by higher patient volume across mature hubs, supported by strong clinical outcomes, while margins benefited from operating leverage and improved scale efficiencies. So herein you can see the cash flows of the company, wherein the opening cash and cash equivalents, all the numbers are there. Actually, you can see those are very straight numbers. But what I'm interested more in that, the shareholding pattern. Here you can see the promoters have skin in the game, which is having around 71.29% holding. The next one you can see here, FIS, like around 6.7%. DIS Sanshi Fund, which is owned by Mukul Mahavir Agrawal, which is having the stake of around 2.17%, and his own stake is around 3.43. So around 80 to 82% stake is concentrated, and only very limited shares are there, are available to public. That means large players are interested in the company, and the sector, as you know, is already very tailwind friendly. That means there is a lot of tailwind in the sector. It is growing at very high rate, stigma is reducing, so this company will surely grow very well. Now here are the future projections. As per the management, they are saying that they will be growing 40%. They will be having 40% revenue growth. So I am assuming 24% PAT margin. So these are the numbers. Like right now, the number is like 104 crore in revenue for FY26. With the 40% revenue growth, we can see the number can reach to 2380 by FY29. That means there will be a good growth in the company, and this is a surely investable opportunity for all of us. I mean, you can do your due diligence, and then only you can invest and go ahead. So right now, you can see the technicals, wherein there are two charts. The left one is showing that there is a strong support line, and there was a good point where you can add, but here the trend line is there, but it is not supported by volume. As you can see, there was volume around April and May, wherein the Mukul Agrawal and Sanshi Fund has entered in the company. Here you can see a cup and handle that has been in formation. We are not sure whether it will form or not, but if it will form, it can give the company a very good boost, and the price range will go very well. It can give a boost of around 16.59%. So from 117, it can reach around 180, 145, 150. So what is the investment verdict? This is through all the research that have been done. What I can say is that the Gaudium is saying that they have a premium mode, the industry leading margins they are having. They are very capital efficient with hub and spoke model driving 50% ROE. Like other players are, I mean, they establish full IVF network and then they start working. But here they have limited hubs and lot of spokes. So they don't need a lot of infrastructure that has to be done at a single place. So this is a capital efficient model, and they are structurally protected demand in a booming Indian IVF market. So they are very aggressive. They have very aggressive target of 19 new clinics requiring flawless execution. That is the execution burden. But as per their SOP, they are very confident on this. The working capital receivables must be structurally fixed. They actually have a loan facility for the IVF treatments, but as per recent con call, they are saying they are modifying the terms over which the patients can take the loans and repay back to the company or the NBFCs who are giving the loans. There is a legal governance, legal governance overhang is there, but as per their claim, they are very positive on this also. So, Gaudium is highly scalable, asset light, clinical engine, which is delivering 50% return ratios in a structurally expanding global market. So these are some milestones that Gaudium has achieved. Like this is the India's first company which is to be listed on the stock market, marking a history that the fertility care industry is on the NSE. The India's #1 clinic in IVF clinical ranking as per the health survey conducted by Times of India. This is the first chain in India to introduce AI in the infertility treatment. This company is the first in India to receive European Quality Award for highest quality standard. These are few awards and recognitions that the company and the owner that has been received. These are the case studies, like these are only 10, but there are thousands of case studies. Like Gaudium has treated around 10,000 patients till now, and there are a lot of good case studies out there. So herein you can see the first case study, the historic first, like when the company was started or when the hospital was started, a 51-year-old achieved a successful IVF and live birth with her own eggs. Then there is a USA success story wherein 5 prior IVFs were failed and 6 miscarriages was there, but her miracle baby was born at Gaudium. A well-known Bollywood actress also was also associated with Gaudium, which delivered by surrogacy. Then there are many more cases. You can go through this. These are the babies that has been born via Gaudium. Look at the happy faces of the people. So I can see that the promoter is very confident on her process, on her SOPs, on her values, and she's going to deliver a good results in the coming year. So thank you for your patience and listening to my rant. I'm open to questions. If I'm not able to answer right now, I will come to you and message you and answer your questions. Thank you so much.
Great, Dipaliji. A lot of improvement over the last first time when you did versus this one. So keep it up. I think you should deliver more and more presentations to us.
Thank you so
Be
much.
encouraging, yeah. So let me check any questions. So there are multiple questions which and even the queries basically okay, success rate and other issues. But anyways, I want to give my thoughts on this because I was tracking this company before and I had a discussion in the last Bengaluru meet as well. And see, this company is only doing 100 crore sales at this point of time, and not only for you, Dipali, just for the broader audience as well. And you're saying they have treated 10,000 patients till now. India's population is 140, 150 crore now. Can they treat 1 lakh patients over a few years? This is how we should think about this company or this kind of companies, IVF. 1 lakh is a very smaller number, right? And 1 lakh multiplied by average patient treatment is roughly 3 lakh rupees.
3 lakh, yes.
You just multiply these numbers and you will see amazing numbers. That is the kind of time they are looking for. If they do well, they execute well, they remain committed to the path. So it can go to like 3,000, 4,000 crore sales in maybe 10 years or 15 years. We don't know what is the time frame it will took. But this is one of the companies we should track actively and possibly if for some reason it comes down, margin of safety is there because there are a lot of other issues as you highlighted based on some texts and other arbitrations. So some margin of safety is needed for all of us. But once it is down, you get the margin of safety. TAM is huge, and that margin of safety will take care of your money possibly at that time. That's what is my thought about it.
Thank you for your insights, Punitji. Any questions?
So mostly their queries basically. You just have a look at the chat.
If I can add a bit to this as well,
Yeah.
Puneet, and so on this particular part, not only the Indian couples visit these kind of clinics, but also we have a lot of people coming from the foreign lands. It might be Europe, it might be US, or a lot of other places as well. So they are also looking for these kind of stuffs. And I believe, because of medical tourism growing, so this kind of thing we can have from the foreign places as well, foreign couples.
It's a cherry on the cake for that actually, because it's 1/10 or 1/20th the cost in the other countries.
No, 1/5 cost actually.
So you can see as you grow, right? And if you compare on the Nora and Indira, right? And average you take for most of these companies, then you will see the actual number. For Gaudium, maybe 1/5. But overall IVF cost, which are multiple clinics available in multiple cities, towns, maybe not of the highest quality, but their rate is also less, right? So Gaudium is taking 3 lakh rupees per patient, but there are many clinics taking 1 lakh per patient also. From that perspective, I'm saying average is much, much lesser. Yeah, great. I think just have a look at the chat in case you find something to answer. Thank you for your time and
Yeah,
presentation.
sure. Thank you for your guidance, Puneet.
Yeah. Okay, we'll move to the next presenter before we go for a break. Shrikant is our new presenter. Welcome, Shrikant.
Yeah, whether my audio is clear?
Yeah, your audio is clear.
Sure, I will share the screen now.
Sure.
Able to see screen, correct?
Yes, we are able to see. You can go to the presentation mode. Yeah, we can start.
Yeah, myself Srikant. This is my first presentation in this ALD series. Today we are going to speak about JNK India Limited. So the brief story of why I am selected this company is due to COVID and geopolitical tensions, there is huge supply chain broken in many industries. And one of the key industries is that energy theme. There's huge broke of the supply chain because of crude comes from your Middle East and something from Venezuela or USA. And many countries, governments are taking it as priority to as part of energy nationalization and energy security so that they're developing their in-house capabilities to develop refining capacity or this fertilizer capacity or petrochemicals capacity as part of this theme. So this is huge tailwinds happening in this refining segment, petrochemical segment and fertilizer segment. And JNK India is a capital goods supplier to the end users of refining petrochemicals and fertilizers. This is the just theme reason why I have selected this company. We'll go deep dive of this. Coming to basic introduction, it started operations in 2010. It is not just like a very old company and it's not a very new company, but they have some huge experience in this industry. And the plus point of this is that they have end-to-end capabilities, which means that to manufacture the capital goods, they have capabilities right from designing to engineering to manufacturing and in fitting in the end user. So, but the competitors of this company has only engineering capabilities, some has only designing capabilities. And but the plus point of JNK is that they have end-to-end capabilities here. And present workforce is 452 employees. They are doing some additional capex so that there is a huge chance of that rise in the employee growth going forward because they are seeing the tailwinds in their end industries. And this is a unique proportion of these companies that there is a company in South Korea named JNK Global. They invested 18% stake in JNK India. We can consider it as a strategic investor. Why? Because JNK Global is a very big company having very bigger capabilities in various industries compared to JNK India. So JNK Global helps to JNK India in the form of technology assistance, which is very difficult for the local players in India when compared to JNK India. And there is one more unique proposition is that to bid for bigger orders, the end customer is to ask you what is the experience, what is your net worth, what is your sales. If there is any shortcomings in this bidding success by JNK India, JNK Global will be bidding for that order and they will use subcontract to JNK India in such a way that there will be growth in the order book of JNK India. And as per the agreement, when JNK India solely bid for projects outside India, they need to pay royalty. If JNK India order gone for bidding in India, there is no royalty clause in this agreement. I will go deep dive of this product segment. Yeah. So all the products are capital goods nature, which means there is no repeat business. It is one-time heavy capex goods, and all are mission critical, which means that if there is any damage in this equipment, there will be months and years. There will be a stoppage of this facility, which means that this is a huge critical important to the end user, so that the certification of this vendor and the selection of vendor is very critical. Because of this, there is very limited players in this segment, and I will go through this few key components which they provide to the end user. One of these is process fired heaters. The main object of this is that it is used to heat the crude oil, which is the first step in this. At a precise temperature, then it will go for the next step. It is called cracking process. This fired heaters used in industries, end users like refining companies, petrochemicals, and fertilizer units. And one more unit is that so they used to manufacture cracking furnace is one of the capital goods. The main object of this is that the benefit of crude is that you will get once you process crude, you will get huge outputs in terms of your fuels, chemicals, plastics. Major application of this cracking furnace capital equipment will be in your petrochemicals. And coming to reformers, so JNK India is to produce two types of reformers. One is catalytic reformers, one is hydrogen reformers. So once you process the crude, there is one of the component named naphtha. So if you further process naphtha, it will convert to high octane components. That high octane components are used in your to blend in a petrol. So these people has capability to manufacture these catalytic reformers, and they have capability to produce hydrogen reformers. The usage of this is that to produce hydrogen, which are used in fertilizer plants. This is one of the component which is called flares. It is a safety device used in mostly in refining and petrochemicals. The use of this is that to burn the excess hydrocarbon gases, which is unable to recycle. As we know that major application will be in refining segment here, petrochemicals here. And this is the incinerator segment. So as there is a huge processing happening of the crude, there will be huge effluents releasing in the factories. So before releasing to environment, so to reduce that toxic natures, this component is used, which means that they will reduce that dangerous levels of this component before releasing the atmosphere, so that it will be minimal level. So for that, they used to use a capital equipment called incinerators, and JNK India has capability for this. Yeah, to give brief idea of what is the output you can derive from crude. It just if you process 1 barrel of crude, you will be getting huge components like you will get from petrol, diesel, jet fuel, and LPG. You used to get petrochemical feedstock, and you will get marine fuel, you will get lube additives, you will get asphalt, which is used in a road, which means there is huge sub industries in this by processing a single barrel of your crude oil. And as we know that there is a huge correlation between that refining unit and petrochemical units. So this is edge for JNK India, so that they cater to the both customers. They cater to petrochemical customers, they cater to refining customers. Coming to raw materials, as we know that this is a very mission critical components, and they need this capital goods need to handle extreme heat, extreme pressure in the refining segment. So they used to the major raw material they used to use the stainless steel, because as you know the stainless steel is very good for to reduce they avoid the corrosion with this chemicals or crude or petrol diesel, and they used to they used to use other raw materials like your inconel, which is that it is a very strengthy, so that it can bear the extreme pressure from the refineries. And it is not a risk, it is a business model of these companies that some raw material is dependent from outside India. So probably from countries like China, South Korea, they have some dependence in raw materials, some they are sourcing within the India. Yeah, to see what is the bigger picture happening at India level. So what is the mood of this refining companies in India is that in India there is a present capacity of refining is 250 million metric tons, and there is a target to double in the next 5 to 6 years. As we discussed previously, the components provided, the capital goods provided by JNK India has huge applications in your refining segment. And coming to petrochemical segment, there is a capex happening to increase the addition. So in the same way, it will be benefit to your JNK India. And coming to urea fertilizer segment, it is very unique in India, saying that till now we have very huge dependence from the foreign countries, say like from Russia, China, and as we be seeing many news saying that there is export comes from Russia, there will be export comes from China due to urea and fertilizers. So not only government of India, many countries decided to at least get some self-sufficiency and energy security in terms of fertilizers. So the many capex happening in India in relating to fertilizers, capex happening in Middle East, capex happening in Africa regions. So this is a huge tailwind for JNK India here. And coming to few players who are doing capex in India, it is called BPCL doing capex in multiple locations. Say like your Kochi, they are doing not only in refinery, they are doing capex in petrochemicals, refinery, and in the same way, IOCL is also doing capex in their both refinery and petrochemicals. There is some pure play players like MRPL who is focused on they are doing capex in petrochemicals. There is capex coming from ONGC and Haldia. This is Indian players. I will discuss what is happening with the foreign players in the coming slides. Yeah. These are the few, these are not all the clients, these are the few clients. By this, you can see that there are all the major clients who are in this refining and petrochemicals are the client list of the JNK India. And out of this is company called CVR Energy. They're from USA. The standpoint of USA relation to JNK India is that there is very small order book from USA, but management clarified that there is a huge capabilities to cater to this USA clients. As part of the strategy, they got order from CVR Energy, and it's going to complete. It is in stage of completion. They are very confident that they will win new orders from USA regions. As you know, that there is huge capex happening in the Permian Basin in the USA there. So there's a huge this is called growth catalyst. Why? Because till now in the order book there is very less order book orders from the USA geography. Going forward, there is huge opportunity for this company. And coming to their geography presence, their manufacturing setup is in Mundra. It is a logical geography for them. Why? Because to transport this heavy equipments, it is very near to have your fabrication unit or your site in near to the port. So this is the reason why they have selected their location near to port here. Coming to the management team, these are the 4 key people in this company, and major you can consider Aravind Kamath as the promoter in this company. And if you see other persons as Deepak and Gautam, they joined the company later. But all these 3 people are having major stake in the company, and JNK Global is having 18% stake in the company, which means that 4 persons are having a major stake in the company, and there is no PE investor in the company. And if you see the experience of this Deepak person and Gautam, they have well experience from the L&T. As we all know that L&T is a benchmark company who executes the large scale, mega scale EPC projects. These people have got hands-on experience from that, so that they are able to use that expertise. Even though JNK India sales is very low, they have a very good expertise to handle bigger projects. Because of this, they are very confident to get the orders from this USA region. Coming to competition, as we discussed that every industry will be having some competition, but the uniqueness of this oil and gas industry is that as it is very critical and mission critical components, there is a reasonable competition, and I will explain why there is a reasonable competition. Why? Because the entry barriers are very huge. Why? Because the person who is supplying capital goods, they need to get certifications from ASME, which means that American Society of Mechanical Engineers, AP, Association of Petroleum, America Petroleum Institute, and IBR is India Oil Regulators. So there is a limited companies who are doing end-to-end capabilities, which means that in the first slide I discussed that JNK has capabilities right from designing to engineering to manufacturing to erection on the site. But there is the persons who are doing the full end-to-end value chain is a very less people, and one of them is the JNK India. And there will be a significant the end customer will be asking what is the track record while submitting the bids, which means that the conditions will be what is your previous years of experience in this industry, what is your net worth, what is your sales. So such a way that it is very difficult for the new player and small player to get into industry. It is very easy to get into industry, but it is very difficult to get bigger orders to scale their business. Why? Because they'll be having huge requirements while going for the bidding there. As we know that there is limited competition. With coming to the major revenues coming from process fired heaters, reformers, and cracking. So it comes to JNK competition in India, there is Thermax and BHL which are focused on process fired heaters, but they are not active on the reformers and cracking segment. And there is other segments say like IDT Engineering India, they have presence in both process fired heaters, reformers, and crackers. But if you see the sales and net worth, it is very small, which means that we can infer from this that compared to other small players, ITT Engineering India, so JNK has bigger sales and bigger net worth here. And the bigger parties in this list is that Thermax and BHEL, but they are fully focused on process fired heaters. They are absent in the reforms and cracking. And coming to other segments, which is called flare system incinerators, there is a quite bit competition in this segment from some players from India, some players from USA. Yeah. Coming to order pipeline bidding, so as it is a capital goods company, we should check what is the order book presently, and we should give more focus to what is the bidding pipeline going forward. Why? Because it is order book nature companies. Investors need to track what is the pulse happening in the industry. It can be catched by what is the order bidding pipeline inquiry status. So previously I explained what is the bidding pipeline in India level. Now I will explain what is happening in the global level. So in global level, this company gone for some bidding in Russia, but due to some issues of geopolitical issues, they are not speeding giving the orders. But recently there is good traction, and management is expecting they may expect big order from next 2 to 3 months. And coming to the Africa region, there is a company called Dangote Refinery. So JNK India did first time greenfield capex for them before 8 to 10 years. And the same Dangote Refinery in Nigeria coming for a second time capex, which is that their objective is to double the capacity. And JNK India is very confident saying that we have MPanel as the vendor in the previous capex, so we are very confident to get some bigger orders now from them. And they're expecting order inquiries from probably next 4 to 5 months there. And coming to USA, there is huge capex happening there, but presently this order book is very small, and this is the growth catalyst going forward. They are very confident to get bigger orders and new clients in this USA region. And there is a small order got from CBG, but as we know that CBG technology is not yet matured, but these people are trying to get hands-on experience in this technology to get edge over the competition. And recent conference call management mentioned about the opportunity Middle East region. They are focusing, Middle East clients are focusing on to do capex, both brownfield and greenfield in terms of your petrochemicals and fertilizer industry. And the rough estimations given by management is that for the next 2 to 3 years, they are expecting order. It is not, it is a order TAM, you may consider as order of bidding pipeline opportunity of $300 million. As an investor, we should track how they are able to crack this bigger opportunity here. Yeah, coming to risks, as we know that all the companies will be having risk, and it is a capital goods nature. Then the business model which the way the operates is that there is no price escalation. If there is sudden rise of the steel, sudden rise of your stainless steel, or sudden rise of your Inconel, there is no price escalation class from your end customer. So the strategy followed by management is that whenever they get confirmation order from the end customer, they have to book that raw material so that they can protect their margins. And for second point is not a risk. It is you may consider it as that business model of this company, which means that they can provide the capital goods to the customer when the site is ready. If the site is not ready, these people can't transport that capital goods to the end customer, which means that there will be delay in this planning everything, so that there will be lumpiness in your revenue recognition, lumpiness in your cash flow generation. So it will impact your working capital, it will disturb your working capital. It is not a risk, but it is a part of this business model. And coming to the third risk is that, as we discussed, this companies mainly focus on petrochemicals and refinery, but presently it is a huge tailwinds happening over the globe, not only India. So they are enjoying the tailwinds, but we should see what is the government thinking over the long, bigger period, whether they're giving equal importance to develop their refining segment, petrochemical segment, fertilizers. But as of now, there is no risk from the government point of view. But as investors, we should track what is happening at the bigger picture. Yeah. This is very interesting. So till now we discussed only JNK India. Now there is one more subsidiary called JNK Chemdist Technologies India Private Limited. This company is having 51% stake in that. The main objective of this JNK Chemdist is that they are very strong in this technology, developing new technology for new applications. JNK is very strong in executing bigger orders, and JNK Chemdist is very strong in developing new technologies. And I'll give one case study. They developed new technology and they have got some order and they're working on it on commercial term basis with Hydrogen Valley Pune, which means that this company developed a technology where they used to take ethanol as feedstock and they will convert into ethyl acetate. As part of this process, your byproduct will be green hydrogen. So generally what will happen is that to generate your ethyl acetate, you should take acetic acid. If you take acetic acid and generate ethyl acetate, it is huge cost. And this company cracked this technology by taking ethanol, they will generate ethyl acetate, and as a byproduct, you will get green hydrogen. Because they showed these capabilities, they got order from commercial order from Hydrogen Valley, Pune, and management is saying confident that they are planning to get bigger orders in this scheme, because the generation of green hydrogen by this process is very, very less cost compared to your electrolysis process there. Because all the investors are focusing on electrolysis process, but this company is focusing on entire different. It is a green route, which means that you are taking ethanol as your key raw material. But they got some commercial order. We should track how they're able to scale this business. And this same JNK companies also provide capital goods to your process industries like your chemicals, pharma, and they are working on unique technologies like sustainable aviation fuel and compressed biogas. And recently there is a notification from Government of India saying that blending of SAF into your aviation turbine fuel, which means that 1% by 2027, 5% blending mandate by 2030. But presently there is no commercial orders in SAF, but they are very keen to develop these technologies here. And coming to business highlights, their manufacturing operations in Pune and order book is as of March is 67 crores and revenue achieved during FY26 is 57 crores. As we discussed previously, this subsidiary is very small in terms of revenue, which means that around 7% of the total sales generated by JNK India. But there's huge optionalities, there is huge technology developing in-house by the JNK Chemdist with the collaboration of JNK India, and they are very confident to crack some technologies in SF, some technologies in CBG, some technologies in green hydrogen. This is their site location of JNK Chemdist in Pune. Yeah. Coming to just financial projections for next 2 years. So I taken these projections after this Q4 conference call. So present order book is around 1960 crores. It is consolidated both JNK India and JNK Chemdist. So on conservative basis, management is getting for around 25% to 30%. They are easily achieved, irrespective of geopolitical issues or any issues in this over the globe. They are planning to achieve 25% to 30% sales growth. But on conservative basis, I consider 25% for the next 2 years. And EBITDA margins, I take a slight increase because by FY26, there is a world projects which are completed, which are low margin. From FY27, there is a higher margin order, so that I consider slight improvement in EBITDA margins. Coming to depreciation, there is a CAP happening in both the JNK India books and JNK companies. There is a huge, it is called growth capex. They are doing capex not for replacement capex. They are doing growth capex, so that there will be slight improvement, increase in your depreciation expenses. We should not consider it as a expense. We should consider it as a growth capex, which means that It will increase your capabilities for both JNK India and JNK Chemist. And for interest, because they are increasing the sales, there will be need of their working capital needs. I consider slight improvement, increase in their interest expenses. And coming to tax, I take on conservative basis around 25% tax rates. And if you do this, all the conservative basis, if I consider higher order intakes from USA region, there will be huge there will be huge sales growth and EBITDA growth. But on conservative basis, I taken very 25% sales growth here. On conservative projections, it is getting around 17 times PE for the FY28. And coming to your technical charts, so if you see this recently, what is happening is that this chart is broken out of your 30 weekly exponential moving average, and the business wise, it is in a tailwind space, which means that they're getting orders, they're getting confirmed orders, they're increasing the order book, the order inquiries are increasing. And if you see the green line here, they're taking huge support at around 200 to 220 rupees. So that, but technically we can consider this as their support base here. And from this overall chart picture, we can consider that presently chart is in stage 2 base. And coming to your IPO, now the current price of the market share is near to your IPO price. And market cap is very small, it is around 2000 crores. So the fully relying on technicals may distort your picture, but you should combine both your technicals and business analysis. So this is the conclusion of this JNK India Limited. Thank you.
Great, Srikanth. So any questions for Srikanth? You can put or ask, unmute yourself and ask. One question that I have from my side is this global organization, right, where they are attached with. And
Correct.
it's mostly dependent upon their orders from there, actually. So how you see this risk, or maybe in the longer run, it's a
No,
benefit only,
yeah, it can be seen as an opportunity because to manufacture capital goods in Korea, it is very cost compliance. So that the JNK Global will be giving order to India, so that JNK India having manufacturing base in India, they can manufacture the capital goods at lesser cost. This is the my viewpoint here.
Okay. And one question from the chat is why it has come down actually from the so top, basically. What went wrong actually in the past years?
Yeah, because there in the few months there is order book increasing, but there is no execution because of the site issues in the customer. So there is a lumpiness in revenue, there is a lumpiness in their cash flows due to sentiments derating. It got very crashed the price wise. And recently they started improving their order book. They started increasing their operations. If you see the cash flows, previously it is very negative. In FY26 there is huge improvement in the cash flows, and going forward management is confident saying that we will further increase that cash flows. So my observation is that due to the issues in the cash flows, there is huge pressure in stock price in the last 2 years. That's what my observation in this. But presently, their order book is good, and they're converting their order book to sales to cash flows. So because of this, I thought my view is that there'll be huge opportunity to scale this business further.
Yes.
Previously, I accept that previously there is issues in their cash flows, but they're reducing the issues, and they're trying their best to convert the CFO to positive levels. If you see the FY26, there is minimal negative there in the CFO level, but if you see FY25 CFO, it is very big negative amount there.
Wonderful. Actually, I think you
So
present.
this is my understanding of the cash flows. So that if you catch such type of companies which they are transitioning from very big pain to a reasonable reducing their mistakes and improving the trajectory, you will be getting asymmetric returns both in terms of your share price growth or in terms of sales growth, everything. Because there is a lumpiness in their past trend, so that there is less revenue recognition happening.
Correct. So thanks for presenting this. I think one of the other factors that we look for is this breakout above 400 and 425 levels, where a lot of supply would be there in the past. And I think some consolidation will happen during this phase of 350 to 450 zone.
Yeah, correct.
And once it crosses, then it can just go very fast to the top. So maybe we need to track the execution. As you said, this is the year of execution for this company, and it will show us the operating leverage once it starts doing that.
Yeah, FY27 mostly execution level and healthy ratio of your CFOs. Then there will be huge sentiment from the investors' point of view.
Yeah. So thanks a lot. So any other questions, you can have a look at the chat and then we can take it from there. Thanks a lot for this.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll move to the now our quiz phase. So I hope you all would be ready with your ABCD, right? There is a hack already given by Jaspreet in the system. But let's see how many people will be able to use that hack. Let me share my screen. able to share myself actually. Just give me a second. Yeah. I hope you are able to see the screen now. Just give me confirmation. Okay. So this is just an example for the people who are new. So the question would be coming like how many X, and there are 4. The options are 3 and 4. The answer is B. You have to type B in the chat box. I have taken one small improvement based on the last week quiz analysis. So people are not able to read the questions and other people are pressing ABCD. So what we have done is given enough time to read the question itself. So just the question is there. Read the question easily and then we'll go to the choices. I think that will help a lot of us. So Shadowfax is a dominant leader in the third-party logistics, but it faces a significant concentration vulnerability, and what percentages of its total revenue is dependent upon the single largest client, Meesho. I hope now you would be able to judge. I would share the options. You have to press in the chat box the answers. Yeah, a lot of people have the right answers. It's 48%. So we'll stop here and move to question 2. Stop typing for question 1. Okay. Now question 2. KSB Limited holds a near monopoly in the supply of critical primary coolants. What specific certification is cited as the catalyst for this dominance? I think we got a lot of answers correct. Its answer is ISO 19443. So a lot of people have given the answers already. We move to the next question. Stop here for question number 2. Gaudium IVF, which specific segments of this workforce represents a critical operation choke point consisting of only 5 specialized individuals? Very, very easy question, this one. Great. A lot of you are at least showing that you are attentive during the sessions. It's the winning message for all of us, right? Okay. Stop here, move to the question 4. JNK India maintains a unique strategic relationship with JNK Global. What is the specific equity held and what is the royalty percentage? Little tough. Okay. Here is the options. I think the answer was 18% equity and 2% loyalty, if I remember. Okay, we can stop here. I think enough answers available. And for the time being, let's take a small break and assemble by 12:50 to start. And we'll start with Sumit. Sumit, you should be ready in 10 minutes roughly. We'll start
Yep.
from that. Okay, so I will close the meeting so that recording can go further and then again rejoin the same link back. Okay, that's
Okay. Yeah.
all. Okay, bye. Thanks, guys. We'll assemble at 10 minutes and start exactly at 12:50.